This episode of The Gaming Outsider is brought to you by eWin Racing, the home of the best heavy-duty gaming chairs. I can tell you from personal experience that I've never sat in a more comfortable chair at my desk. eWin Racing has chairs for gamers of all sizes, too. As a Gaming Outsider listener, you can get 20% off your purchase using our promo code TGO at ewinracing.com. eWin Racing, the best gaming chairs out there.
Hey everyone, my name is Sissy Jones. You might recognize me as Commander Sloan from Destiny 2. And you're listening to Scott Clark in The Gaming Outsider. Have fun. And also, send the hive back to hell. Okay, bye.
Happy Summer GoCo. On this week's episode, Zack, Alyssa, CB, and I answer questions from the community. As usual, most of them are video game related. In news, Call of Duty has a new way to handle cheaters, and an unexpected Ubisoft game is getting a remake. New games discussed include Inner Ashes, and we're still working on Diablo 4 and Final Fantasy 16. This is The Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to The Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community, which can be found at thegamingoutsider.com. It is Sunday, July 2nd. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me are my good friends, Mr. Zack Parkerson. What's up, man?
It's true, I am here.
And Alyssa White.
Hi, I'm existing.
And Chris Behrensmeyer. What's up, CB?
Oh, I'm here. Hey, by the way, I just realized that it's Scott Clark, and literally because all three of us here, it's The Gaming Outsider.
What you did there. By the way, happy birthday. 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you.
How old are you?
Old.
Cool.
Not Scott Clark old, but old.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
I've seen more of CB this week than I think I have all year. We spent a lot of time together this week. Yes?
Well, that's what happens when you finally stop going on cruises and stuff and want to hang out and do things.
We have been prepping for R2V2. What day was it? Wednesday?
Yeah.
We spent at the Lyran Club. We spent the entire day painting, with no air conditioning, and Dominic and Jacob were there as well. Dominic is Christina's son, and poor Dominic.
Christina being a former producer of The Gaming Outsider.
Correct, and yeah, she's still on our team. She does our books. But poor Dom drew the short straw and was painting our ticket booth. We have a ticket booth, so like a tiny little hot box, basically. It was so hot in there, I felt really bad for him. But
yeah. Man,
we got a lot of the painting done.
Thank God for that hillbilly AC.
We did have a hillbilly AC. It's like a big plastic tub that has 2 holes cut in the top of it. Actually, 3 holes. The larger hole has a fan pointed straight down, so that air pushes out of the other 2 holes, and then you just put a bunch of ice in it, and it pushes air onto the ice, and then the air that comes out is cool. So we tucked that in that tiny little room for him. But we are working very hard to try to make this facility as nice as possible for everybody when they come to R2V2, which, again, is Saturday, October 14th. We're plugging right along. It's going to be... I got to tell this story because I don't even think Zack and Alyssa know this yet. We had a floor plan created for our vendors and where Sissy and John were going to be. I had created it in Excel, and we gave it to our vendors and sold some tables and all this, and then realized we had to redo it because we weren't to fire code. We didn't have enough room for fire exits and everything. So CB doesn't know Excel or Google Sheets very well.
I'm terrible at it, I'll admit.
So he sent me a screenshot. He literally created the entire floor plan of R2V2 with Legos.
Sure. I mean, that's awesome.
It actually is kind of brilliant if you just make each peg be 1 foot. He's got it to scale so that we've measured the length of the room and width of the room. And then he built little booths for each of the vendors, and he put little guys between them.
This booth is sold, and I put a little Lego minifig there.
He put one for Sissy and one for John right where in their spot. It's really hilarious. So if anybody wants to see that picture,
oh, don't worry, it's going to be on display at R2V2.
You're going to put that picture up?
Oh, dude, I'm actually building it like a full mock-up now.
Oh, you mean you're going to bring the actual display?
Oh yeah, I'm bringing it, man. I put work into this thing. It's fun.
That's pretty funny. So anyway, yeah, we're very excited. It's getting closer and closer. It's going to be here before you know it, and it's a lot of work, guys. It is so much work, but hopefully it turns out well. Let's get to the games that we've been catching up on. CB, we'll start with you. What you've been playing?
Been chasing them demons, playing some Diablo 4.
I have been playing Diablo 4 as well.
And so have I. Well, not that much, but...
Is it on all 4? Oh, no, it's not on Zach's list. But the 3 of us, we still haven't all played it together.
I know. Dude, I haven't had much time to play this week.
We've been busy.
Getting stuff done. Doing the things.
I'm up to level 22, I think, with my...
I think I'm rogue. Level 33.
Nice.
With your rouge.
I did our new build on my character. I decided to go online and try to follow somebody else's build. And I don't like the build. I think I'm going to start over and do... I miss my caltrops.
Why would you follow somebody else's build? Why wouldn't you just make your own character?
Because, dude, because my own character, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. There's so many different options, and I want to get through the story, and I want to get through the story as easily as possible. So I'm trying to find a stronger build. But I think I'm gonna redo it.
Pretty sure the character that you're playing just runs up and goes stabby, stabby, stabby.
No. The build that I'm using, it makes him a ranged character, much more of a ranged character, which I like.
But what, Scott, jeez, you are playing a character that does melee, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to turn him into a ranged character.
No, a rogue is in Diablo is not just a melee character. It is a hybrid between a ranged and a melee character. Thank you very much.
Stabby.
Yeah. I can still stabby, and I have all this stealth stuff, so I turn invisible.
You will never stabby. You're like, I'm going to shoot arrows and throw things from afar.
How helpful is stealth in Diablo?
I haven't figured it out yet. The build I've got has this whole thing that turns invisible, but as soon as they see you, you're back to visible again. Exactly, so I don't really get...
It's either a very short-term perk in the gameplay loop of Diablo.
Well, I'm clearly missing the benefit of it, because it was noted as a very important thing to get on the skill tree, so I don't know. But I did finish Act 1, which I know people have the campaign beat 2-3 weeks ago.
Also, I feel like the joke I keep seeing online is I'm level 45. I haven't even beaten Act 1.
Oh, really?
I just feel like
I still haven't beaten Act 1. I don't think.
Doing all the side quests?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Are they interesting?
Some of them.
Because there's another RPG out right now where the side quests are not interesting.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's true. There's one in particular I played. I was playing with Joel. I was playing with Joel and CJ the other night, and we came across one that they had already seen before, but it was in reference to a certain horror franchise that I thought was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool side story.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't want to say it.
Did somebody ask you if you want to play a game?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Did somebody ask if you wanted to play a game?
No, not that franchise.
If only.
Yeah. But I'm really enjoying it. But again, I just like to play with people. I don't like to play by myself. So when I don't have anybody to play with, I'm playing the other game we're going to talk about.
Which is funny because as a married man, I thought you would have a lot of experience playing alone.
Wow.
Do you like to do it yourself? Zach, what have you been playing?
Well, I got me and everybody with CB, right? We're playing Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah?
Yep.
The Adventures of Chloe Rossfield. Which is funny because I called it an RPG a minute ago, but it's not.
It doesn't. It's feeling less and less like an RPG as I go through.
It's clearly just not what they were interested in making. They want to make a Devil May Cry game. Mission accomplished.
You're right. With that said, I'm still really enjoying playing it.
Me too.
It's what I want to be playing because I just want to see what's going to happen next. Although, well, I'm cutting into yours, Zach. You go ahead and talk what you want to talk.
Oh, I agree. I agree that it is good. By the way, it's just it is. I knew it was going to be an action game, right? Action focused combat. I guess I just didn't expect to lose the other RPG stuff, like gear or items or any kind of rewarding exploration at all.
Yeah.
And I say that because I love 13, which is also very, very linear. Maybe this game opens up later like that one did. I don't know. I just feel like this one even more so than 13 feels like it's about funneling you from combat encounter to combat encounter with very little room to do anything.
Mm-hmm. And the little things that you can do in between are just meaningless.
I mean,
they feel nothing.
I don't know if I can't remember very many games with worse side quests than Final Fantasy 16.
They feel like the old school side quests from like the PS2 era or even PS1 era of like, hey, take this food to somebody. Like I've had like 4 side missions of like deliver food, or I dropped my stuff. Can you go pick it up?
Maybe that's where my frustration is coming from, the exploration angle, where I didn't feel it in 10 or 13, even though those games are very linear. Is this game is like trying to pull the wool over your eyes of being like, no, see, we have side quests and this area is open. It's totally explorable, but it's not. There's nothing to find there.
Well, especially after, I know you're not playing the game, Zach, but after coming off of Tears of the Kingdom, where you just get lost in all of the side stuff. You know what I mean? You just get distracted by, oh, what's that over there? And CB can relate. You know, like you just see, like you're going for a quest and then you see something that distracts you and then you're just off doing whatever. And in this game, they do a good job of making you feel like you're not in a linear area. It feels super wide open until you try to go anywhere, and then you're just completely blocked off. And like, why am I even exploring?
Yeah, why can't I cross that puddle?
Right,
it's just so weird. But I don't know if you guys have gotten this, but later in the game, you get different side quests, and they have a plus symbol over their head instead of the normal side quest symbol.
I've not gotten that yet.
I haven't either.
But those are like actually worth doing because it added a gameplay feature. So I'm like, somebody at Creative Business Unit 3, while they were making this game, was like, guys, our side quests suck so much, people are going to miss the ones that they should do. So let's put a symbol that says, yeah, I know this is going to suck, but you should at least suffer through this so you can get a chocobo.
Yeah. I will say we're talking very negatively about this game right now. I can't put it down. It's what I want to be doing. Even when I'm playing Diablo, sometimes I'm like, can you guys go to bed so I can play some Final Fantasy? And then I'm the one going to bed because I'm tired. I will say, and I think, Zach, you might agree with me, that the story I'm loving the story, but I'm also frustrated for a couple reasons. One reason is I'm keep waiting for certain characters to meet, or to run into each other, and it just keeps not happening, and I don't understand why. It's really I'm you see me dancing?
I do. I do.
Because we as the player know certain things that the characters don't. And first off, why do you not know that? And number two, like, well, why is it not happening? It seems like I just played an area where these two characters should have interacted. There is no reason for them not to, and I just don't get it.
Well, I think there is some reason the two characters you're referring to in particular. Mm-hmm. I think there is some kind of narrative reason we'll learn later.
Okay,
that's the vibe I'm getting. To your point, I'm also really enjoying the story, though many of the actual plot beats are fairly predictable, I guess would be the word. Mm-hmm. But the actual character work is excellent. However, I just got through an area where they are beginning to set up the Final Fantasy part of the plot and less of the Game of Thrones politicking.
Which is weird that I'm upset by that.
I am annoyed by it even, yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully it puts itself together later. But its introduction, I was like, oh no, we're going full Kingdom Hearts. This is not good news. It's
very nonsensical. It doesn't make I think what I texted you is I don't understand the antagonist's motive.
I mean, we're probably not meant to yet, I guess. But it's just, for me, it was just I don't care about this. You're not doing the work to make me care about this. I just want to go back to the kingdoms invading each other with their icons and all that stuff, and who's in charge of this region, and what's my mom up to, etc.
Right. Have you run into Vivian yet?
Yeah,
the character Vivian.
I have not.
I have.
There. I spent some time with Vivian, not with her, but at her, counter or table or whatever, reading up on some of the lore. They do a really good job of recapping each character's and they let you do a timeline,
right?
And you can kind of toggle through Clive's journey, and they actually have a timeline with the dates And as you toggle through, it shows on the map where this took place, this thing that you did. So you can kind of go through. And I'm talking about the history of the game that you've played so far.
Yeah. Well, what I like about that feature is that it tells you what the realm was up to, and then it also tells you what like you were up to during that. So it's a nice little be like, oh, so that's what was happening while I was doing this. Okay. That's kind of a neat way to keep you up to date on what's going on in the realm.
Yeah. Did you notice, though, that when you actually go read the different character profiles, like Clive has like 9 or 12 different profiles, and it's like each one is written by a different person. I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like when you read the synopsis for a movie on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever, and there's like 16 different synopses of the same movie, and you read one and then you read another one. I feel like I'm reading a different take on who Clive is by different authors.
Wow.
Because they're giving a lot of the same information. They're just rewording it in a different way, which is very weird to me. But
understood.
Anyway, Alyssa, how far are you?
I'm not exactly sure. I know I'm level 21.
I think I'm about 24.
Okay.
25.
But I'm really enjoying it. I don't know what to say without spoiling.
Yeah, it's tricky with this game.
Can we just say like how many icons do you have? Is that
I've still only got 2.
Okay.
Well, wouldn't it be it's blessings anyway, right?
Blessings?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
No, yeah, because you only have the one icon.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. But you have icon abilities.
Right.
Yeah.
Iconic abilities. What a word.
Anyway, I feel like I'm still not even at the halfway mark of this game based on how many icons I know that you're supposed to get. I mean, if you look at your skill tree.
I decided to try to brave the internet to see where I was, Scott.
Oh, yeah?
And I know you and I are neck and neck. And it sounds,
are we?
Roughly. It sounds like we're about a third of the way through the game.
Okay. That's not too bad. I just want more of the political intrigue and less of the craziness that most Final Fantasy games fall into.
My concern is the last 10 hours or so is probably going to go full-blown Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
I'm really worried about that. Because at least Final Fantasy IX had the dignity of waiting until the last boss fight to throw that in there.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it eventually always comes down to saving the world. But
it's Final Fantasy.
Right. But this game doesn't feel like it wants to be that until it just all of a sudden shows up in your face.
Yeah. I will say, this is a little touch, and I don't remember this being done in too many other Final Fantasy games, because you know how Final Fantasy games have a lot of the same tropes. You know, like there's always a Cid, there's always Chocobos, there's always Phoenix Downs, which I haven't seen a Phoenix Down yet. Have you?
I guess not know.
I guess literally I have. I've seen Phoenix feathers.
Well,
yes.
You know? But.
Yeah, I have too. Yeah. But they played like the original music, the original Final Fantasy music theme on one. There's one section where you're with Jill and they're doing their whole like yatai thing, and they're playing like the original Final Fantasy music, which I thought was just a neat little touch. So the other interesting thing musically with this game, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, because some of the boss battles go on for like a really long time, right?
Sure do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's when you start it is a very intense theme that's going on. But as the battle goes on, have you ever noticed that the music just starts to get real calm and serene, like you're in like a village or something?
Yeah, I've noticed that before.
I was like, what is going on?
Oh, I have not noticed that. Maybe I'm just too good. Maybe that's what it is.
Probably.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
You're surviving too long. We know you're relaxed.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully I can put a bigger dent in it this week, because I need to finish it. I need to finish a game.
Yeah, I wish I was loving it more than I am, but you know, I do like Clive, and I like most of the characters, and you know, the politicking, and the combat is fun, if not, you know, exceptional.
I'm enjoying the combat, even though it's very repetitive for me. I keep picking up on it becomes more of a game of how can I just get through this battle quicker instead of how can I survive this battle, which is what I'm used to in Final Fantasy games. Is like, okay, I need to survive. I need to figure out what to do with this boss, and now I'm just playing a game of how can I make this happen faster, which is a weird thing to do. So, anyway, I am enjoying it. I'm kind of like with Zack, though. I wish I were enjoying it more, but I still do want to be playing it. Like I want to see what happens next, and I really like the direction that Sid is taking or has taken in the point in the game where I am. Again, I'm dancing, but
I agree with that. Yeah,
there's some pretty cool stuff that happens that
I'm excited to find out
for Alyssa to see. A couple of things are just really cool. One that I didn't even notice right away until some things were addressed. But anyway, you'll get there.
Yeah.
So it just looks like we're all been playing Diablo and Final Fantasy 16 this week.
Again. I mean, July is pretty calm for us. Anyway, I'm sure.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Well, not for me because I'm going to be turning 31.
Turning 31?
Yeah.
Oh no, when's your birthday?
July 30th, exactly a
Okay.
month after CB's.
There you go. Well, let's go ahead and jump into the week's news. First off, let's talk about some trailers. Got a game called Cookie Cutter. Comes on PC later this year. I believe Mark Szymanski is the one that pointed out that trailer to me, and I don't know how I missed it. Holy crap, does that game look cool. If you haven't seen that, Zach, look at the animations on that trailer. Man.
Really?
Also, Atari has a couple, like, I'm not going to say remasters because they're just completely different games, but they've got a trailer for Haunted House and Quantum Recharged. I remember Haunted House on the Atari. Wasn't it the one where you just played as like a set of eyes?
Yeah.
Like walking around in the dark? Like
as you're walking through the dark, like, and everything is illuminated by a flashlight.
Mm-hmm. Also, Call of Duty came up with a new way to deal with cheaters. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is reportedly getting a remake. The developer for Gollum will not be developing games anymore, and Sonic Symphony is coming to a city near you. Alyssa, which story would you like to talk about?
Well, let's just address the Gollum developer. They're not going to be developing games anymore, which was Daedalic Entertainment. They will now focus on publishing, sales, and marketing only. They were apparently planning another game set in the Lord of the Rings universe, but that's obviously not happening now. It started development last year in 2022. Sadly, 25 people are being laid off as well due to this, and it's assumed that this is in reaction to the very poor reaction for Gollum.
Yeah, this is a story where I have yet to play Gollum, and I am just morbidly curious to see if that game is as bad as everybody claims it is. I think I'm seeing a lot of 4 out of 10s.
I've seen some clips online, and they're hilarious, but I don't know.
Which surprises
in a bad way.
Me, because this is a game that legitimately, on paper, should work. The story's written for you.
Yeah.
Like A to B, throw in some interaction. Congrats, you have a game.
I think for a lot of people, playing as Gollum is a hard sell.
Why?
Well, because you know how it's going to end.
Yeah.
Well, that, and I think it's just, you think about all the power fantasies of video games. What is the fantasy in being Gollum?
That's a good point, actually.
to be tormented and treated like crap.
What are you yearning for? What's your motivation?
Just gonna go find that ring, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, we know how this is going to end. It's like going into Titanic, expecting the ship's gonna sail away.
I think there was a lot of potential in like a 6-hour, $30 Gollum game.
I mean,
yeah,
kind of looks like it.
I mean,
it does. To be honest,
but that's the thing is, do you think that game would have done better if it were a $30 title as is?
Yeah,
like people wouldn't be complaining as much.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it does look pretty rough.
Yeah.
I think it's just, I don't know. It's just a weird world we live in where this Daedalic feels like they have to never make a game again. You know, but it's just like, also like 3 days ago, CG Projekt Red was like, yeah, we were treated pretty unfairly at launch for our game of Cyberpunk.
It does feel
it's a weird world we live in.
Sorry, Zach.
No, it's just it doesn't seem fair for everybody across the board. That's all.
It does feel a little snap judgment that they're like, you guys didn't like our games. We're not going to do this anymore.
Well,
but
I don't fault them for. I would rather they did that than try to make something else that didn't work. You know what I mean?
Especially with
the
sophomore act.
this isn't their first game.
Okay, so
Daedalic has been making games for a while now. This was not their sophomore title.
But that's what it's. First off, I didn't know what other games they made. This is the first time I've heard of them.
They mostly
okay.
do point-and-click adventure games, I believe.
Not exactly my forte, but honestly, you know what I feel how this game could have done infinitely better? Tell me the story of Gollum in a Telltale style or a point-and-click adventure.
And they didn't do that.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I think him escaping his torture confines in a stealth platformer sounds cool. It's just it doesn't need to be like a 20-hour game, and also
it was,
and also, I mean, isn't every game these days? And then also, like, so much of the game is about hatching chickens and befriending your cellmates, which doesn't seem like a very
seriously.
Yeah, you didn't know that? He's like,
no.
Gollum. He's like, it's mostly about him hanging out in prison.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great. I feel like there'd be a lot more interesting things. It's 12 and a half hours.
That's 12 and a half hours
a little
of
too
hatching
long.
chickens in prison.
Right.
Yeah.
Riveting gameplay.
Crazy. Anyway, CB, what story would you like to talk about?
Oh man. Well, there's only one choice for me.
There is?
Yeah, that Black Flag goodness.
Oh no.
Delicious. Yeah, so apparently Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is reportedly getting a remake.
I don't get this one.
You know what? It makes more sense than Last of Us.
Only barely.
I mean,
so, original game was released in 2013, being developed by Ubisoft Singapore. Interesting choice. Who is currently working on Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones,
game.
which is an even more interesting choice. Because to me, this is starting to feel like, yeah, Skull and Bones isn't going to happen. We're just going to revamp this into Black Flag.
Well,
or they're just going to like use the water, the sailing mechanics that they did in Skull and Bones that have been updated and just make that the sailing stuff.
Dude, I still don't even know when Skull and Bones is actually going to come out. I want to play it, but I don't
know, man. I played the beta and I would think I was good.
I enjoyed the hell out of that beta.
I know you did. I
capped out.
Severely underwhelmed when I played it.
But here's the thing, like, I've played the beta. When's the game coming, man? Don't know.
There's another beta coming. They're doing another beta.
I know. Which is like, I'm like, this is starting to feel like you guys aren't confident in your game. So let's just take all the sailing stuff that we've already made and just rework it into, we're going to remake Black Flag.
I can't wait for they remake Black Flag, and then they're going to have to remake Skull and Bones. This just constantly happens.
Before it even comes out.
Yeah.
It's like,
what do you call it when you remake a game before it comes out? Like a demaster?
A ground up retooling.
I don't know,
overhaul.
Guys. You guys know that Black Flag is... I have such a soft spot on my heart for that game. I played through it to 100% completion twice on different platforms. I loved this game. I don't think we need another remake.
Dude,
I mean, I said the same thing about Last of Us. Like, it doesn't need... Now, granted, I haven't played Last of Us. People are saying that they've updated the controls and made it look much, much prettier, at least on console. PC is a whole other story there, but I don't know. It just 10 years does not seem long enough to be remaking games, guys.
I mean, how many Skyrim iterations did we get?
But that wasn't a remake. That was just like, we're going to put it on another platform. We're going to add all the DLC. This is like, we're going to remake it.
This feels like Ubisoft is like, we want Black Flag to be our Skyrim. We're just going to keep re-releasing it.
I don't think any game available on the PS4 or Xbox One and above really needs a remake yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
And all those games are purchasable on current consoles.
Mm-hmm. So you can download Black Flag on Game Pass.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't need this.
You know what would have been the proper choice? Let's take the original Assassin's Creed and remake that.
Yep.
I don't trust them.
You don't
I
trust them.
I don't exactly trust them either.
Just like with Assassin's Creed Mirage, like we're going back to the roots, and then you see that gameplay footage they put out, and you got Eagles marking enemies, and he's ghosting around, teleporting to kill dudes. I'm like, that's not back to the roots.
Mm.
You know, I do not trust Ubisoft to touch the good Assassin's Creeds.
Well,
Also,
I mean,
this is super early development. This is going to be
well,
you know,
okay.
2027.
Hold
before-
on,
Also, this isn't
because-
even confirmed, right? You
I
know?
believe it is confirmed.
No, I don't.
no,
I don't think-
Ubisoft hasn't said it.
Yeah,
Okay,
Like officially, I can't remember.
But-
the way the article that I read was reading it made it seem very convincing.
right.
well, here's the problem. The last time that an Assassin's Creed game got remastered, it looked worse.
What are you talking about?
The Ezio collection. You remember
look
those
worse?
face models? Dude, they were atrocious.
I didn't play the remake. I played the original. I
Oh.
remember the glitches in the original where like the guy's eye, all you'd see is like the
Oh, yeah.
eyes and the mouth. Remember that?
I thought it was.
I
Unity.
remember.
Was it Unity that did that?
That happened
Yeah,
a lot in
Unity.
Unity.
Yeah.
But no,
Like
it was
Unity
almost
so
like they
much.
de-resed Ezio's face when they did the remake on Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
And it just everything was so smoothed over.
But that wasn't a remake, right? That was a remaster.
Yeah.
All the rules are different.
All I know is I loved 4. I want more sailing.
I want 4 too, but what I don't want them to do is to change the combat to make it like the combat from the modern Assassin's Creed game. I want.
Why don't they?
I
just
don't have a.
Why don't they just make a new pirate game? Why is that so
Yeah.
hard?
Because they can't even make one pirate game.
Well,
They're in
yeah,
the middle
not-
of making
not
another
them.
pirate game.
Well, this pirate game is weirdly boats only.
Yeah, that doesn't.
It's not
I mean, the
100%.
boats are
There's
Great
some
and-
off-boat stuff in Skull and Bones.
Is that just walk
Barely.
around an island so that way you can show off your microtransactions?
yeah.
Yeah.
That and to pick up quests. That's like all you do on the island. There's no combat or interacting with anybody of real importance. It's just, at least as what I played in the beta anyway.
It is a bizarre choice, but Ubisoft, if you're going to remake one.
I would be down with that.
Don't
I
remake
would
any
like
of them.
to.
I already know you're gonna ruin Splinter Cell.
Oh man,
They're never making another Splinter Cell.
They announced the remake for 1.
Lies. It's never going to happen.
Yeah, understood.
Zach, what story do you want to talk about, man?
I don't know. None of these are exciting. It's not a good news week. I mean,
Sorry.
no, I didn't say it's your fault. I mean, did you guys hear about the Korean rating board re-rating Red Dead Redemption? That's pretty exciting.
I did see that. Yes.
So-
I purposely did not put that on the docket because I was worried you were going to be upset that we were talking about rumors.
Well, Korean rating boards is all but a confirmation with their rate of just exposing stuff early, but
Mm-hmm.
that's exciting. I mean, I don't understand. The Call of Duty cheating thing boggles my mind because I'm like, why wouldn't you just ban those people then?
Oh, I read deeper into this article. They want to study the habits and behaviors of cheaters to see if they can't find a way to cut it off in the future.
I prefer the Bungie method of we will sue you.
Yeah.
Stop cheating, or we'll sue you for
Yeah.
millions.
I think we did it. Didn't we do a whole episode on like cheating and like why? Like
I don't
what
understand the
thrill
fun.
do you get from like you won, sure, but you didn't earn it.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's mods and cheat codes and
Yeah, but mods and cheat codes are something that you do when you're playing on your own.
yeah. But you said cheating. It's cheat codes. It's right there in the name. It's cheating.
But cheating to me is when you are playing against somebody else, where you're giving yourself an advantage over another person that is playing the same game as you against you.
You know what?
If you put in a Game Genie code and give yourself infinite lives or invincibility, it's a way to enjoy the game otherwise, and you're not affecting anybody else.
You want to know the easiest way to get rid of that? Just make a bracket in competitive gaming. Go nuts.
Cheating's allowed.
Yeah, allow everything and just see how nuts it can get.
That you could be onto something there, CB. Call it the Cheaters League, where you can use any mods that you
Dude,
want
can you
to.
just imagine if like Major League Baseball, they're like, hey, we're going to have a completely separate division. Do all the steroids you want.
I
Yeah.
think. Well, the problem is with the Cheaters League is the cheaters don't want to play there because then they don't have an unfair advantage.
Right.
Okay, but here's the thing: you don't want to get banned. That's where you go.
Why aren't we just banning these people?
I don't understand either. Is it they're
Yeah.
not? Are the developers not making the money? They already have their money from the game,
Yeah,
or
well,
if
I mean,
unless they downloaded it, they pirated it.
Cheaters, they probably pirated it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of things of like, would you remember when Alan Wake came out, and if you were playing a pirated copy, they forced an Alan Wake eye patch to make him look like a pirate? Do you guys remember this?
I
no,
don't
but
remember
that sounds
that
awesome.
one, but I've heard of similar ones like that.
Yeah,
Like,
but whenever those things happen, I'm like, well, why don't you just ban them? Why can't they just not play the game then?
Yeah.
So obviously you have the technology to see that they're playing a pirated copy.
Mm-hmm.
It's very strange. I don't understand any of this.
The whole pirating thing doesn't make any sense because I'm gonna give you an example, like just how readily people are okay with pirating games. I got Chris Owens, friend of the show. His wife is obsessed with playing this game that does not exist anymore because it's been delisted. It was a digital only game, and you cannot. So there's no physical copy of it. It's not on the store anymore, and so the only way to play this game is to either find somebody with a Xbox 360 or PS3 that still has it, and have that person sell you their Xbox and access to their account, which would be more expensive, or your second option is to pirate the game.
Right.
So,
I mean-
ethical question. In that case,
Oh.
if there's no other way to play the game, is it okay to pirate it?
Yes, of course it is. That's not even a question.
I mean,
Piracy is preservation. If game companies refuse to preserve their own history, then it is up to other people.
and you know what? I stand behind that. As a physical only collector, Zach, I stand behind that statement wholeheartedly because you know what? I hate when companies are like, you know what? Screw our own game or our own content.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense to me either. Like why? Like if
Yeah, I don't know.
put all this time and energy into a game, even if it wasn't critically well received or anything like that, I would still want it out there. I would still want, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You could still go buy artists or albums of crappy music or crappy movies. You can still go buy them in some way. You know what I mean?
I love plenty of games that had a terrible reception.
You know what? Honestly, I think there just needs to be a new company that's started by some stupid billionaire. I mean,
Uh-huh.
who anytime a game gets delisted or anything like that, they just sell it to him or her, whoever.
Mm-hmm.
And then
An eccentric
their whole
billionaire.
job is to have just a giant server farm of, I have all the things.
And that company is called Limited Lun.
I was just gonna say that.
No, they're not because
No. Yeah.
ugh, I hate, don't bring that company's name up in front of me.
I did.
You
And I
used
brought
to
up I brought up
love-
Limited Lun. This is a different company.
Yeah,
Shut up, I know
completely
who you
different.
mean.
No, he's talking about making another company and calling it that.
Ugh. I
like it.
mean, at least at that point in time, it's like, cool, we're doing something.
I had a point with all this that tied into this thing about cheaters.
That you
Great
don't
show.
like
I'm-
them.
Love cheaters.
Huh?
Excellent TV show. The guy got stabbed
Um,
once.
Seriously? On
Yeah.
TV?
He got stabbed on one of the episodes.
Seriously?
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, you can watch it right on YouTube. It's hilarious.
Okay. Yeah, the
Scott's mad.
The whole-
We're derailing the show.
No, I'm not mad. This one is interesting what they did though, because I think it's a fun way to jack with cheaters. Is they're calling it mitigation, which messes with the cheaters' games to help point them out. So what they do is when they discover that somebody is cheating or is suspected to be a cheater, they put bots that only the cheater can see that actually act very much like human players, and so they'll see these cheaters go after these guys to try to kill them, and they're like, "Oh, we know that's a cheater," and then they study them.
Yeah,
Instead of calling them out,
but there's a problem with this.
what's the problem?
So it's a suspected cheater. So I could
Mhm.
sit here and be like, I think this guy's hacking. I think he's cheating. So they flag this person and force the cheating software upon them.
I
And
don't
then they're
get the
just like,
impression
oh,
that
look.
it's players flagging them. I get the impression that there is a whole division here at the Call of Duty team, what are they called? Team Ricochet, that their entire job is to study and seek out
That's-
cheaters.
That's fine. But where are you going to learn about the cheaters from? the people that are playing the game.
Okay. But you can, even if you flag somebody and you give them a bot, that all that does is they don't even realize that that someone's watching them at that point. Because as far as they're concerned, they just killed a real player and they just go on playing their game. The people watching now are watching and studying that guy and keeping a close eye on him. Hey, we know that he's cheating because only cheaters can see it. So if that person doesn't go after that character, then he's not a cheater.
I don't know, man. In this day and age, this feels like an infraction upon a gamer, because now you're gonna essentially force software into somebody who somebody else is like, they're cheating. And so now you're monitoring a player personally.
Mm-hmm. You think we're not being monitored when we play online now?
We probably are.
We probably are, but just there always seems to be some lawsuit that comes up from this kind of crap.
Yeah.
Now, I just don't like the way this works. It's like, oh, look, we're going to populate your game with extra people. So I suspect, like, I think you're cheating, Scott. So I'm going to sit here and be like, flag this person. I think he's cheating. They're going to populate your game with extra bots. You're going to, as a competitive player, you're just going to shoot at the bots, not realizing.
But if you're not cheating, you're not seeing those bots. That's my point.
But no, so it just populates the bots.
Right. And the only people that can see those bots are cheaters. If you were using software that gives you some kind of modified advantage, then you will see those extra bots. If you're a legitimate player, then you I read
the article too, and it says it would populate their game with extra bots to make it so when they're shooting at somebody in the game, they're shooting at a bot. They're not getting scores, but they still see the bot.
No. That's not what the article said. The article said you would only see the bots if you had cheating software installed. That's the only way. If you were a legitimate player, you are not going to see the bots.
But, okay, so these programs, though, that are written by people are just going to get then rewritten in a way to not identify the bot.
The newest mitigation, which is simply called hallucination, places decoy characters in the game which only cheaters can see.
But
according to Team Ricochet, these decoys, quote, are undetectable by legitimate players, and they cannot impact a legitimate player's aim, progression, end-of-match stats, or overall gameplay experience, but serve to disorient cheaters in a variety of ways, unquote.
But you have to be flagged for you to receive this hallucination.
You have to be flagged. And if you're flagged and they give you a bot and you can't see it, then you're clearly not a cheater. That's my point.
Until I see exactly how this works, because
I don't know.
I understand that. I understand that. But there's plenty of software out there. And once they figure out how it works, they're just going to write new code around it. Or they're going to use something
that's
different.
Just what hackers do. Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I'm curious because it says only cheaters can see this. Legitimate people cannot. So you've been flagged as a cheater in their system.
Mm-hmm.
So now you see the bots.
That's happening before the software happens. Before this whole mitigation thing, that is already a thing in place. If you were flagged as a cheater, you're flagged as a cheater. This mitigation software doesn't make that any different.
I don't know. I want to see how it works, because I don't play these kind of games. I don't understand how it works.
Uh-huh.
Dude, the last time I played like a Call of Duty multiplayer game was like back like Modern Warfare 2, like the first time around.
Okay.
So I don't know. Like, I don't know how these mods or hacks or cheats work. That's what I'm saying. I don't physically understand exactly how they work. So for me, I just understand you've been flagged as a cheater, so you see this, but the other people in the map don't see this.
You being flagged isn't what makes you see the bots.
I don't know.
You being flagged just as you being flagged. If you are a cheater and you're using software that gives you an advantage, then you were seeing the bots. That's the point.
Okay, well, like I said, I want to see, like, because I'm sure YouTube videos are going to come out. I just want to see how it works. I don't understand.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. I know I mentioned it at the top of the news segment, but did you guys get a chance to look at this trailer for Cookie Cutter?
I assume you like it because of all the panty shots?
I did not realize there were panty shots in it. Did we watch the same trailer?
Am I wrong, Alyssa? Crazy?
I think I
There
recall
seems
a
to be some
couple.
slightly risque shots.
I just thought that
It looks
it's
very-
a
it looks
gear
very-
gated game.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you see some panties. Anyway, continue.
I just was kind of blown away by how intricate the animations were, like not only in the in the cutscenes and stuff, but in the gameplay as well. It's just I'm not used to seeing that kind of animations. I thought it looked really good. So thanks to Mark for pointing that out, because that game is definitely on my radar, and I haven't played a gear gated game in a while, so I'm due.
Is that
as it
true?
were.
That doesn't seem true.
Yeah,
I feel like you play gear gated games constantly.
The last one was Metroid Prime Remastered, right?
Legend of
What did I
Zelda is a
play?
gear gated game.
No,
No,
it's
it's
not.
not.
The way this
Get
new
outta
one
here.
feels to me, it is like,
Get that.
I cannot achieve the sword unless I have this.
Oh my god. No.
I mean, that's
No,
just
no,
the
no,
adventure
no.
game trope, man.
No. Anyway,
I think
Cookie-
you're just all about arguing with me today.
I
You
kind of
just-
feel like I'm feeling a little
you
spicy.
just want to like say whatever Scott says is the opposite. Scott says the sky is blue. CB's like, no, it's not. It's pink.
Oh, it's white.
It's actually a distinct shade of purple, but I could see how you got confused.
Oh my goodness. We'll start calling you CB. Moving on. Want to remind everybody, if you'd like to help support the show, you can do so at Patreon, patreon.com/thegocast. We've got some new episodes available that you can listen to right now. CB, what are they?
Oh, well, our trade-off of Robo Trek and Grandia 2. It's here, folks.
Mhm.
As well as our Star Wars Jedi Survivor spoiler cast.
Which I have not listened to because I still haven't beat the game. So
I'm still waiting to do a spoiler cast on Breath of the Tears of the Kingdom.
Breath of the Kingdom?
Breath of the Kingdom. Tears of the Wild.
Tears of the Wild is not a bad name.
It's
I
not
like
actually.
it. I will get to it. I really want to finish Final Fantasy 16 first.
I'm a Legend of Zelda fan. I'm gonna sit
You know
here.
what? You know what?
Final Fantasy.
I finished Horizon Zero Dawn before I finished Zelda.
That's
Or,
a
I
shame.
think.
Well, he didn't beat Skyward Sword when it came out on Switch, so he's kind of a fake Zelda fan, I would say.
No, that game that game is not for me. Notice how I almost said something else, but
I know.
that game is not for me.
That game's bad. I'd say it's a 4 out of 10 bad if I had to put a number
Oh,
on it.
man.
And we do have a Desert Island Games featuring Marina Ryan from Quest Markers coming up.
Yes. We're going to record that tomorrow, actually. And then I'm going to be a guest on Quest Markers later this week. I don't think that'll publish till next month, but yeah, stay tuned for that. So if you'd like to help out the Gaming Outsider, head over to patreon.com/thegocast. We would appreciate the support. And you do get a couple bonus episodes each week at the $5 tier. So, and even $1 gets you the episode a day early before everybody else. So why not do it? We're going to go ahead now and jump into the new games that we've been playing. I love how we say new games, and we've got one new game that we've been playing this week, but we'll get to that. Zach, anything new coming out this week that we should keep our eye out?
Sure, the Legend of Heroes gets its latest entries with Trails into Reverie on PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC July 7th. Hardcore medieval RTS game, The Valiant. It's not based on the 2015 comic book series, if you were confused like I was. Coming to PS5 and Xbox Series consoles July 11th. First-person medieval combat game, Mordhau, comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One on July 12th. That one I know is hugely popular on PC, so it's exciting people get to play it elsewhere. Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals is a major Netflix published title coming to PS5, PS4, Switch, PC, iOS, and Android July 12th. Sea Horizon is almost looks like a board game come to life, coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One July 12th. Looks like yet another Mega Man clone, Gravity Circuit, comes to PS5, PS4, and Switch July 13th. Zombie roguelike ED0 Zombie Uprising comes to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, PC July 13th. And then Atelier Remake Marie, The Alchemist of Salzburg, comes to PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC July 13th. Alyssa, let's start with you. What's exciting here on this list?
Only one, and that's Oxenfree 2. I love the first Oxenfree, but I am a little bit skittish since it's being published by Netflix. There we go.
Isn't it cool that Netflix is almost a guarantee of middling quality at this point?
True. That's true. It's true. It's a sad truth. I'm hoping you'll be good, but yeah, cautiously optimistic there.
What about you, Scott?
I was just in the same boat with her about Oxenfree. I really enjoyed the first one, but I feel like it's just not going to live up. I mean, I obviously I haven't played it, so I can't say that, but I have a hard time believing it will. And even if it does, that Oxenfree was a game that was a very much one and done for me.
Yeah.
It was a game that was weirdly popular when it came out. Like everybody was talking about it, and I enjoyed it. It was really clever and suspenseful, but I don't ever need to play it again. So I'm not in a rush to play the sequel, but it's the one that intrigued me the most out of this list. And I'm glad there's nothing that intrigues me because I want to play catch up again this week.
What about you, CB?
Nothing.
Cool.
There ain't nothing on this list.
Right. Well, for me, I long to get into the Legend of Heroes series, but I got to beat the first one first, and that's back on PSP. So I'm a little bit behind.
Yeah, just a bit.
One of these days I'll get it because it is super cool how it's all interconnected. I didn't like the first Oxenfree very much, so I have no interest in the sequel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm kind of with you guys. It's kind of a skip week. I'm moderately intrigued by the Valiant, this RTS medieval game, but not enough that I'm realistically going to check it out. So Final Fantasy 16 it is. It is cool.
Sir.
There's like 2 medieval games this week with no magic.
Yeah,
that's nice.
That's actually a good point. Yeah.
You know, those are. I remember when Kingdom Come Deliverance came out, it was almost noteworthy that there was no magic. You know?
I will say, though, these like middling weeks where there's not like some big, huge release makes me really wish I had a Steam Deck.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of the PC stuff, I'm just like, man, I would rather play that.
If only you had somebody in your inner circle of friends that had one that you could borrow.
Well, if I'd have known about that last week, there would have been a game that we did not list. 6 Days in Fallujah.
I mean, you still could play it.
Who knows when you would get it back, though?
Yeah, it's true.
Was that a concern the first time?
I mean, it was more of a joke than like legitimately concerned that he was going to return it. So, speaking of, I meant to mention this in my games that I've been catching up on. I picked up Gun, the original
The Adventures
Gun,
of Colton White.
Because it was on sale on Steam, and that Steam summer sale is still going on, I think, for another week or so. I picked up Gun for $7 because I've been waiting for it to go on sale. Started it up. That game does not look as bad as I expected it to. I don't know if it's up-res at all for whatever. But the first thing that I noticed, and I did not pay attention to this when the game originally came out, that cast, guys. Do you guys know the voice cast that's on the game Gun? I did not remember this at all. Chris?
No.
Thomas Jane, Chris Christopherson, Brad Dourif, Ron Perlman. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like, all in this game.
That's awesome.
Like, imagine that cast. That, I mean, granted, this was what, early 2000s?
2000s, yeah.
2000s. You know, a lot, like, Brad Dourif isn't as big of a name now. But imagine a game being made today with that many big level names in it that was actually a good game. Yeah, we talked about Rockay City last week.
I was going to say, Crime Boss doesn't count, huh?
I mean, it's not a bad game. It's just not what I expected. That's very much a. I've talked more highly of it last week. I feel like I'm being negative about it, but
Chris Christopherson, I remember being pretty good.
What a recognizable voice! Like as soon as he spoke, I was like, "Holy crap!" I did not remember Chris Christopherson was in this. But sadly, that game is really tough to play on the Steam Deck. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. That game was designed for mouse and keyboard, and they did not do controller support unless you actually mapped everything individually on PC. And I have not figured out how to do that with the Steam Deck yet. There are literally commands that you have to do on the keyboard. So you remember the quick draw thing that Gun had?
Of course, yeah.
In order to do quick draw, you have to press the letter C on your keyboard. And there's not a button assigned to do that on the Steam Deck. So you literally have to press the Steam Deck button and X to open up the keyboard and then press the letter C on the pop-up keyboard that pops up to be able to do that.
Ew.
I am not doing that for the entire game.
It's not Steam Deck verified then, huh?
Definitely not Steam Deck verified. And also, the right stick is so crazy sensitive that if you just tap it, it just spins around. I actually changed the sensitivity all the way down just to be able to make it somewhat manageable, and it was still pretty rough. I found it actually easier to play that game using the touchpad on the right-hand side for the right thumbstick instead of the actual joystick to be a little bit easier, but man, it's going to take... I feel like I'm learning to play my first video game playing that way. So,
yeah, it's a shame because obviously it played very well on consoles back in the day.
Yeah, I actually asked around for some friends today if they had any extra... Actually, I asked CB if he did, but I asked some other people too if they had an extra... No. I need a console. I don't want to borrow a console. I want to have a 360 again.
Well,
so if any...
when you ask me that way, you're like, hey, do you have a spare 360? I'm like, am I selling it? And you never answered back, by the way.
I didn't. I was chopping wood, man. But yeah,
Well,
I just want to have another 360 because there's so many of these old games that I want to go back and play, and I can't because they're not backwards compatible, and I try to play them on the Steam Deck, and it just doesn't work.
I desperately want an original Xbox for that reason as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I had an original Xbox, and I don't remember selling it or getting rid of it, and I cannot find it for the life of me. What a beast of a console that was.
Love that thing.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry for the derailment there.
You and Alyssa have been playing Inner Ashes, which looks very much like a walking simulator, which I assume that's what it is.
Yes.
Yes.
Neither of you have sounded resoundingly positive beforehand. Alyssa, you're the gentler soul. Are you finding enjoyment in Inner Ashes?
Somewhat.
Uh-oh.
I mean, the story is very touching. You're playing as a man named Henry who has Alzheimer's, and he's trying to remember past events with his daughter. They're estranged. You don't know why they're estranged, so you're going around to these different areas in a sketchbook. Like, you can somehow go into the sketchbook. And
None of this is explained, by the way.
No, it's not explained in the game. You just play it. You go in the sketchbook. You do these, is it pronounced tangram puzzles?
Tangram.
Tangram? Which they actually use to help people with Alzheimer's in real life.
That's why they're using that?
Yeah.
I did not know that about Alzheimer's, so now I feel a little guilty being like, why am I playing these
Yeah,
dumb
they
puzzles?
don't, again, that's not explained though in the game.
Yeah.
So far. There are some collectibles you can find that explain Alzheimer's, give people that are caregivers tips or family members tips about what to do, what to say. That part is really admirable, but the gameplay is a little bit, it's slow. He moves very slowly.
There's no run button.
No. And if you suffer from motion sickness, you can't turn off motion blur in this game, and it's terrible. So I can only play for about 30 minutes maximum before I have to quit. Because...
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's rough.
They're real sensitive about people with Alzheimer's, but not people with motion sickness.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the case.
Stop me if you guys have heard this one. The guy's name is Henry, and he works... It's a walking simulator game about a guy named Henry.
Now I'm getting it. Yeah, okay.
Works as a forest ranger. Yeah.
Looks like it's on your wall.
Yeah.
It is on his wall.
It's on my wall, too.
Well, I can't see it on your wall.
You never see his face. I guess you see pictures of him, but you never actually meet your character. Yeah, the parallels to Firewatch are a little spot on, but okay. Alyssa loves these kinds of games, right? And we happen to get 2 review copies of this one instead of just one like we usually do. I thought, I'm going to check this out. Alyssa loves these kind of games. I want to see what she's talking about. And I really don't like speaking negatively about games, and I feel like this game is going to make me be a terrible person for not liking it because it's about a physical affliction of which I don't suffer from. So, that makes me a jerk. I don't know. I feel like that's where I'm going to go, but I'm going to say it anyway. There's nothing to do in this game. The things that you do are go click on objects, and you don't know why. You get a little clue that says, I wonder what time it is. And you find a clock and click on the clock. And then, like Alyssa said, you find the sketchbook and you're just in this magical world, and you find 3 medallions to remove a rock from your pathway. It's all very rudimentary, simplistic, basic stuff. And I gotta say, Alyssa, tell me I'm wrong. This is some of the most atrocious voice acting I've heard in a long time.
Henry is okay.
Henry's fine.
Everyone else, though. Oh boy.
The woman that they got to play the little girl, what's her name? Enid?
Enid. I don't know what's going. It's. I don't want to be mean.
It's clearly not a child doing the voice.
It's not a child, but they're trying to sound like a child.
They're trying to sound like a child, and they're using the same voice for every age of this girl, even when she's like
an adult,
9, 10, 11, 12, and she still sounds like a 3-year-old when she's talking. And what accent is that?
I don't know what accent it's supposed to be.
Do you remember when Heavy Rain had the issue where it was like all French people doing the American accents?
We're gonna track down the origami killer.
Yeah, that's what this game feels like. Like I am, like it's people that English is not their first language, and I'm not knocking those people. If I can't do voice acting in my own language. I can't imagine trying to do it in a language that wasn't my primary language, but it's laughably bad, especially the brother, or is it his brother, Jesse or whatever?
Joseph.
Joseph.
Yeah.
What? It's like
it seems like he's just reading it right off the page.
Seriously. Like I'm not like saying I'm a great voice actor or anything, but I feel like I could have done a better job than that. I don't know.
I was wondering if you'd mentioned the voice acting, because I was like, ugh. Besides Henry is fine.
Yeah, Henry is actually decent. There's a couple times where it feels like he's reading, but for the most part, he's believable. I don't know where this game is going. I don't understand what I'm doing. Like, you do things in the real world, and then you find something in the hidden world, and then it shows up in the real world. And then
I think it's supposed to be a metaphor for Alzheimer's, like trying to reclaim memories, but not really knowing. Again, I haven't had experience with anyone with Alzheimer's. I have had with dementia, but not Alzheimer's.
I haven't either, and I feel like I'm missing the point that they're trying to make. I feel like if you want someone to understand what Alzheimer's is, you need to explain it a little bit better outside of what basic knowledge we already have.
Maybe
I agree, yeah.
Frustration that's being created is what it's like to actually have Alzheimer's.
That's what I'm leaning
That's
towards.
why I'm worried about sounding like a jerk for not liking this game, because well, that's the point.
Now I'm actually going to have to play this game because I've had patients who have Alzheimer's. So I'm just kind of like, okay, now I legitimately have to play this game because I'm like, the way you guys are explaining it, I'm like, man, this is weird.
I will say one thing that actually does I like about the game, and it does actually emotionally affect me, is as the game progresses, you see more and more post-it notes being stuck on walls, items, whatever, and you can go and read, and it'll go from being, a pretty vague description to being, this is for putting the milk in, and that's on the fridge. Or you'll go to the coffee pot, and it's like, this is for making coffee. So it's
like he's leaving himself like mementos.
Yeah, but they get progressively more obvious. So it's showing his mental state is declining.
Right. And you get the impression that that's a lot of why they're estranged, he and his daughter, but it's not not directly addressed.
Well, I came across a point where I saw why they're estranged.
Oh, okay.
Which does hit, I don't want to spoil it. It's another issue that is talked about in society a lot today. I'll just say that.
Okay.
Okay.
I get the impression the game's very short,
curious.
A couple hours.
I think I'm an hour and a half in, so I think I'm pretty close to the end, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the trophies are coming in fast and furious.
They're very easy to get.
And not just like bronze ones, like silver and gold ones.
Yeah.
I'm getting left and right, so I feel like it's not going to take me very long. I'm gonna see it through, just because I'm curious to see, number one, what you're talking about, but also, what point they're trying to get across, because I'm clearly missing something. But yeah, I mean, it looks very rudimentary. The graphics are very flat. Even though it's in a 3D space, everything just looks very flat and sharp edges. And the character movement feels very slow. It is kind of cool how he uses the post-it notes as your inventory. Like when you cycle through the things that you pick up, you do that by flipping through your post-it notes of like, oh, this is that item, and then you pop it up in front of you. That's kind of clever, but
which sometimes those post-it notes, the drawings disappear, so you have to memorize it before they disappear.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So,
I appreciate that aspect. I know it can seem slow, but I think that's the point of the game, actually.
Okay.
My major thing with it is the technical stuff, the motion blur. That makes me queasy. I did get stuck on an item once, and there is no jump button in this game, so I had to go to the last save, which was about 20 minutes prior.
I had the same thing happen. It was in the spot where you had to put the gears.
Yes, I got stuck there.
Like, you tried to go up the stairs on the side?
Yes.
Yeah. I got stuck there and had to reload, and then I had to do all that stuff all over again.
Yep.
So.
Okay, I'm not the only one.
Yeah. All right, so that is Inner Ashes. It comes from developer Calathea Game Studio, published by Select-A-Play, and we were provided copies from ICO Partners and Press Gamera. So thank you for giving us a shot on that one. We do appreciate that one. And that's all we've got for reviewed games this week. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our social media outlets. If you'd like to be a part of the Gaming Outsider, you can do so at facebook.com/groups/thegocast. We got some new members over there by the names of Ryan Ka, Jason Aguilar, Damon Gibson, and Butch Van Kulen. Welcome to the community. Also, our Discord server is live and thriving, and you can find a link for that in the show notes of this very episode. And we would kindly ask that you'd also give us a review on iTunes. Actually, it's not iTunes anymore, Apple Podcasts. Wherever you listen to shows, it helps us get the word out if you do that. And lastly, our website is thegamingoutsider.com. And you can find all of our episodes as well as all of our written content. And we had a lot released this week. David Newman's review of System of Souls is up, as are my reviews of Soul Survivors, V Hunter Puzzler DX, and Beyond the Long Night. And lastly, Mike's written review of Yomi 2, which is a very interesting combination of card game and fighter that I highly recommend you check out. I've actually been playing that on Steam Deck as well. With that, let's go ahead and jump into our From the Outside In topic. Every first episode of the month, we ask our community for questions that revolve around video games. Most of the questions we have are video game related. Others, well, they make for interesting conversation. It's one of our favorite things that we do over here at the Gaming Outsider. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. We'll start over on Facebook. Zach, why don't you kick things off for us?
Sure. Josh Steima asks, kind of a morbid one, but what game or franchise do you think has the best injury effects? Thinking like headshots, visible cuts, dismemberment, etc. Little details like that always blow my mind. That or what is the character you hated playing as the most? Mark Zemansky also chimed in with his thought of any of those skateboard games that had a ragdoll effects.
Huh. Yeah, those were always kind of gruesome, even though they weren't really meant to be, I don't think. But they're kind of crazy.
Of a similar vein, I know the Sniper Elite games do that little X-ray cut when you...
That was on my list.
Yeah. That was crazy. You like watch eyeballs pops or testicles explode.
Testicles, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty gruesome. It's pretty awesome.
They did that in the Mortal Kombat games too, didn't they? Like the X-ray moves.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that one always felt so much more cartoonish to me.
Yeah, in the Sniper game, it felt real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Injury effects are great in that series.
Mm-hmm.
I personally have a soft spot for Dead Space.
Yeah. I was going to say Dead Space. There's something about how liquid all of that gore feels.
Yeah,
in that
and then
game.
when you go stompy stomp and it just squelches, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Right. In the remake, you kind of see like the cauterizing of the plasma bolts or whatever. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Or the infamous scene in Dead Space 2.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Oh, man, what a scene.
Yep.
Holy cow. What about you guys? Any others?
Tomb Raider 2013. Those kills were...
Oh, the ones where you die. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. I felt like every time you died, it was like a different death animation.
Sometimes
Pretty
I just
cool.
let her die just to see.
So mean to poor Laura.
Yeah,
I
I
know.
need to go back
Alyssa's
and
got a
replay
mean
that
side.
game.
Dude,
Did
they're
they
so
make
good.
it? Did they make it like a trilogy release of those games or anything?
I'm sure. Yeah, the Survivor trilogy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Survivor.
Yeah.
Because I would like to go back and read. That was a game I did. I think I've talked about this before. I did a Redbox rental and beat that game like in a weekend and never touched it again. And I kind of want to go through and just savor that. Because the game was so good.
So good at 100%. Those first two especially.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love them.
I do.
See, we did. Oh, go
I
ahead.
was say it's not super visceral, I guess, but I do love in the Arkham games where a suit gets messed up throughout the adventure.
Oh yeah, and especially in the first one, like you could just kind of see like his cape gets like holes in it and stuff as
Right,
you get
yeah.
deeper into the asylum.
Or he gets shot in a cutscene, so the bullet hole's there the whole time.
Yeah,
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 it's super great.
that's awesome. CB, did you have any others?
I mean, we've pretty much hit every single one because I've always hated the injury effects and things like Tony Hawk because I'm like that's not realistic in any way, shape, or form. But dude, the Sniper series is probably like leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else for realistic injury.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I was going. So
Alone in the Dark was cool because much like Metal Gear Solid, that reboot Alone in the Dark, because you had to like actually dress your wounds and stuff, kind of like Metal Gear Solid 3, except you had to do it in first person. It was pretty cool. But you would actually see like the giant long gash in your arm, and you have to bandage it accordingly. It was pretty neat.
That reminds me of the Far Cry games. Was it Far Cry 3 and 4, where like you use
Oh,
a
yeah.
health
Arrow
pack
through.
and he'll like just take a stick and dig a bullet out of his arm.
Right.
Do you remember that? Or
Yeah.
Snap
Or
like
like-
the arrowhead off and then just
yeah, or didn't he
Bullet
like
through.
cauterize a wound at some point with something?
oh yeah, you heat up the knife blade and just
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like stuck it on there and that healed you.
clearly the best game of all time for injury mock-ups is definitely got to be any of the Resident Evils. Just
Why?
Just spray it away, man.
Oh,
right.
yeah, my
Yeah,
arm
this-
is cut off. I'm just gonna
Oh, yeah.
spray it off.
It's just I'm gonna staple it back on and then just pour water on it. It's fine.
Oh yeah, that was so funny.
Yeah, that was.
That was good. I haven't played it, but I hear that Dead Island 2 has some great gore effects.
I haven't played it either.
I feel like I need to go back and try that one at some point because people are saying that it's not what they sold, but it's still just stupid fun. Like things like, you throw a toaster at somebody and then another person throws water on them. I missed that from BioShock. Remember that? The 1-2 punch of BioShock?
Yeah, of course.
It's another game I want to. I almost rebought that series on Switch
Again.
just to have an excuse to play it. Yeah. Okay. CB, you're up.
Sean Coates wants to know what are some video game commercials that you can still remember clearly.
Well, apparently, I'm the only one that remembers that Metroid 3 commercial that like doesn't exist. Remember with the dog and the meat? We talked
I
about it a
remember you
few
talking
weeks
about
ago.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I have a laundry list of them that I remember.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, I remember the Sega commercial where to get Sega in color, smack your head with a dead squirrel.
What? That was a commercial?
Oh yeah, you don't remember that?
No.
The guy said they were playing a Game Boy, and then like he's playing a Game Gear. Well, he's playing a Game Boy on a park bench, and like looks to the left, and there's a dead like frozen stiff squirrel, and smacks himself in the head with it, which makes him like hallucinate colors. And that's
Oh
how
my
that's how
goodness.
Game Boy apparently made colors according to Sega.
All right.
The infamous George Orwell Nintendo commercial.
I don't remember that one either. Like way the world.
Girl comes running
World
down,
World?
like there's the big head talking on the screen, throws the hammer, breaks, and it was a Nintendo commercial. You can look that one up online. It's actually really, because at first you're like, what the hell is this? And then it's like, oh, this is a Nintendo commercial, apparently. But the ones that have been like severely burned in my brain are the Halo 3, the Halls of Humanity commercials.
I don't remember Halo 3 commercials at all.
Dude, those are some of the best commercials I have ever seen.
They're like shot in universe. They're super cool.
Oh, that's cool.
You have all these old, like, grizzled veterans talking about this huge, like, battle, and then they're like, and then there was the chief on the hill.
Right.
And I'm actually legitimately getting goosebumps right now because they have this massive diorama that they built. And then, like, as it goes, like, you see the chief being held by an elite, and all of a sudden the chief's head looks up, and it's like, finish the... And I'm like, oh! Like, oh.
Right. It's like a Ken Burns documentary style. That's cool.
That one, like, that was so powerful of an ad campaign. I hadn't played Halo 1 or 2 yet. Like, that was that early in my, like, Xbox life, because before then I was a PlayStation guy. I went out, bought Halo 1, bought Halo 2, played through them, and then on launch day got together with my brother and another friend and went to Crazy Penguin and played through the Halo 3 campaign on launch day.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that marketing worked on me.
Yeah, apparently. Alyssa, do you remember any commercials?
I sadly can't recall any. I don't know if I just never saw any or my mind just hasn't absorbed them.
Okay, Zach?
Yeah, I don't have a great deal of commercial memories. I remember the ones where Crash would go to, like, the Nintendo headquarters and call them out, or I feel like most of the stuff I remember are print ads that I would remember, like, but those are not, commercials. I vaguely remember the Kevin Butler stuff.
Oh yeah, the Kevin Butler when he was doing the Sony. Yeah.
Or do you guys
I miss those?
Do you guys remember the Mercenaries 2 commercial?
No.
I don't.
Where it had the oh no, like it had like a whole rap song to it.
Oh, come on. You gotta sing it for us now.
I don't know if I remember it. It's like, didn't you? Oh no, you didn't pay me what you owe me. Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
I
gotta look it up.
Here. You want me to pull it up right now? I'll pull it up right now.
I don't know.
Live to audio.
There's so many that stand out for me. The Super Mario Brothers 3 commercial that started out with a guy just looking up at the camera yelling, Mario! Mario! And then he backs up. He backs up, and then there's like a group of them, and they're all wearing different colored shirts. And then they zoom out and zoom out and zoom out. And the illusion is supposed to be that everybody in America or wherever it was,
everybody in the world
has like put on these different colored shirts to make Mario's face on the planet. No gameplay whatsoever. None. That was the entire commercial, and then they had the box art for Super Mario Brothers 3. Outside of that Super Metroid commercial that apparently doesn't exist, I can't think of another commercial that got me as hyped for Super Mario Brothers 3. Besides that one, maybe the Wizard. That was basically a commercial.
That was a commercial, yeah.
For Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah,
3.
you go. Yeah, my favorite commercial is the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Really, the Bob Hoskins one?
No, the Illumination movie. That's just a commercial.
Oh, I see.
It's a 90-minute commercial.
The other one that stood out to me was the one that had Paul Rudd playing Super Nintendo in a drive-in theater. That was back in the Now You're Playing with Power, Superpower. And a super young Paul Rudd is standing playing a Super Nintendo in a drive-in movie theater on the big screen. He's playing Zelda and F-Zero and all that.
I remember Vin Diesel pitching me Sewer Sharks.
I thought he was in Sewer Shark. No?
He did a commercial for the toys.
Oh, was that what it was? Okay.
I don't know. I do not know his further history with the franchise thereafter. I just remember that.
The Sega commercials always stood out to me too because they always ended with that guy going Sega.
Yeah,
I read about that in that what was that book? Was it Console Wars?
Console Wars by Blake
the guy
Harris.
that like lost his voice. They did something like 50 takes of him just saying the word Sega. Kind of crazy story, but
I'm really surprised that you guys also don't remember the Dead Space 2 commercial.
no.
was that the mom's one?
Where the moms are like, you can't see what they're watching, but the moms are. Dude, I love that.
Yeah. Like test marketing or whatever.
They're like, oh my god, it's so violent. Like, yeah, that's this kind of game, and I'm like,
I prefer
you
the
could get away
fake
with that.
protesters for Dante's Inferno myself.
There were
Yeah.
fake protesters for Dante's Inferno?
Yeah, EA hired actors to pretend to be a Christian group saying that you're going to go to hell for playing Dante's Inferno, and they were picketing E3.
Oh, man.
If
Why would you do? Was that a marketing ploy?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was of whoever the same genius was who thought you're gonna want to play this game because your mom doesn't like it. Is like you're gonna want to play this game because Christians don't like it.
Since you brought up print ads, Zach, I'm sure at some point in your life you've seen the Stevie Wonder Atari ad.
Yeah.
How that ever got made,
What does it say?
If I could see, I would clearly be playing Atari.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it's Stevie Wonder holding an Atari 2600. I'm like, dude, come on. Like, this is
pretty
bad.
I like they might have done a live action version, but I remember a Ty the Tasmanian Tiger print ad where all the other like Sonic, Mario, and Spyro, they were all in full body casts, and it was just Ty the Tasmanian Tiger in the background, like flicking his boomerang, going like, there's a new kid in town or something like that. Thus
That's
implying
pretty
he's
good.
going to destroy the competition. And also, I don't know if anybody remembers Ty.
I do.
So I don't think
On the
I don't think it. I know we do. I'm just saying I don't think it worked out for him, but it was still a pretty
No.
cool ad.
Yeah. All right. Let's go on to Discord. Who's up? Alyssa?
Okay, CJ Moore. Oh, this is going to be a fun one.
Oh, this'll be.
CJ Moore. Murder, marry, or do. Alyssa, CB, Zach, or Scott. You can't choose yourself for any category.
choose myself for all three categories.
He says we
Wow.
can't.
That's
He
so
actually
morbid.
asked me when we were playing Diablo on Friday. He's like, "So you gonna read my question on the podcast? You gonna read my?" I was like, "Oh, fine, dude. We'll read your question."
He's trying to destroy us from the inside out.
I know, right?
I'll go
Oh, you know-
first.
Okay.
Okay,
all right,
you go
all right.
first.
That's
Here.
I
somebody
will
will.
marry Alyssa.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, all right.
So somebody's getting the short end of the stick on this one, boys.
Well, I thought we were all doing it individually, aren't we? Oh, you mean between Scott and I are getting killed?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So sorry, Zach. You're
Aw.
drawing the short end of the straw on this one.
Does that mean you're gonna have to do me? Because that feels like the short end of the stick.
No.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, no, if it's CB, it's definitely the short end of the stick.
We already had this discussion about you over the weekend too, Scott.
Oh my. So I'm dead. You're killing me. Just to clarify.
Yeah, it's just
That's
for
I don't care.
the
That's fine.
only reason is because you're too far away.
I don't care. You can kill me. Finally, the sweet relief.
But you see, you're killing Zach,
Yeah.
and you're doing me
Yep. Out of spite.
out of spite.
It's gonna be
What?
so angry.
I don't even know what to say right now. I did not expect.
Oh, don't worry,
this.
you won't be speaking.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
Jeez. All right, who's next? Zach, Alyssa?
Oh, yeah, Scott, you're gonna save yourself for last, huh?
Hey,
I'll
of course
go.
he is.
No, I don't care. I'll go. I'm killing CB. Sorry,
Yeah.
that was gonna happen beforehand. And, as much as I would love to marry Alyssa, I'm afraid I can only do you this time. Alyssa,
I wouldn't
it's
marry
gonna be
me
a good.
either.
I want to, but Scott here, he's cooking dinner, he's making jams, he's taking care of all the lawn work. Marrying this guy is almost like getting a butler in house. It's pretty sweet. I think it'd be kind of silly to pass him up.
I'm just gonna go ahead and jump in because mine is very similar to Zach's.
Yeah.
Sorry, CB, but
Oh, I know full well.
I mean, write more reviews, and
That's what it takes to get into your heart.
You know what?
and
Pay,
And I'm
paint
not-
more buildings, Scott.
and I'm not gay, so sorry, Alyssa, but I'm doing you.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
you know what?
And I'm marrying Zach because he'd make a great roommate. He would make an awesome roommate. Let me play video games whenever I want.
That's true. Think of the
Yeah.
tax benefits if we got married, huh?
Yeah. So it's all up to Alyssa,
Oh,
boy.
the pressure. Oh, God.
and you
So-
have to say one of each.
I know.
I'm getting murdered for a third time.
It's definitely gonna be a hat trick on killing CV, right?
Okay.
Oh boy.
It's okay. I
God.
offer myself.
CJ is just basking in the awkwardness right now, Alyssa. I wish you could see your face.
Oh, there's only one person that made this awkward. I mean, I was ready to go.
Okay, because he wouldn't marry me, but I'm still doing it. Marrying Zack because he likes to have the place cold too. I feel like we'd work together.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. I offer myself as tribute, Alyssa. It's fine.
I'm doing Scott, okay?
Yeah!
And then,
That's
sorry,
fine.
CB.
No, it's cool. Trust me, we know who the ugly one in the group is.
Oh no!
Ah.
Don't take it there.
But I did.
I mean, I'm
There you
getting
go.
done twice. I'm just saying.
I fully expected to have been killed, so...
Oh, so me and Alyssa are spit roasting Scott, apparently.
Oh my god!
Well, CJ, I hope that was sufficiently awkward for you, but you have your answer. So moving on. Doc Sampson said, do you have a favorite pod or site that reviews games? What is it? And how much do they affect your willingness to purchase and or play a game? You guys already know my answer, so I feel like I don't even need to say.
Is it thegamingoutsider.com?
No.
Oh. Because, I mean, that's my choice.
It's DLC with Jeff Canada, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
My tastes align with Jeff's very much. Very much so. I've played many a game just because he spoke very highly about it. And I don't know if you guys have ever listened to his show, but he does a very good job of expressing how excited he is to play something, either something that he's playing now or something that he's looking very much forward to listen to in the future. He makes me want to play a game, especially the way that he describes it. So, and I think Doc Sampson actually found us from hearing me on that show. So I'm not giving him any information he doesn't already know. So I guess I'm going to have to come up with another answer. But I'll let you guys go first.
I'll jump in. I don't.
You don't?
I don't listen to other video game podcasts. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the same way, so.
For me, I like talking about video games. I don't like listen. There's been a few times I've either been on or listened to another podcast. I don't care for it. When it comes to podcasts, I only listen to like 3 types of podcasts, and they're all like fairly dark or murdery podcasts. So not really my cup of my tea, and I can't stand like IGN or any other video game like review sites, because it's literally just nothing but ads and like little videos that pop up and annoy the piss out of me. I'm just becoming old.
Yeah. That's okay though. The only contemporary podcast I listen to is Last Stand Media, but I always skip their What Have You Been Playing section because I don't like risking getting influenced, I guess, by their opinions. But but I like listening to them because they do a really in-depth coverage of the news. And also Colin Moriarty is the host and will just sometimes just share things casually that he knows behind the scenes. Like the next BioShock game being in Antarctica, or the Red Dead remaster, the Korea thing. He's like, yeah, I've seen it running, so I know it's coming. And he's actually
the next BioShock's going to be in Antarctica?
Yeah, or some kind of wintry setting.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Now you do. Just listen to this podcast. Well, it's interesting because he's a controversial figure, so nobody ever runs the news he shares. But it is right 90% of the time, unlike a lot of other, scoopers who I won't
are
name,
very popular.
Are very popular. I won't name and are right about 10% of the time.
JG.
The initials are JG is in a particular person. The only I do listen to a lot of video game podcasts, unlike unlike CB and Alyssa, but I listen to stuff that they generally talk about things that have already, games in the past and stuff. Same thing with YouTube. The only YouTuber I keep up with that reviews games contemporarily is SkillUp, and he has almost the exact polar opposite taste of me. So, if he hates a game, I'm like, oh, this might be interesting.
Interesting. That's I like it. The other one I do listen to is Married to the Games, but that's more like listening to, because I know those people personally, so it's kind of like just tuning in with old friends, to some degree. They're and if you're not familiar with them, they're. Is it safe to say that we lean a little bit more Xbox than PlayStation here? They lean more PlayStation than Xbox over there.
Well, I don't know. I play every single game on PlayStation.
I know, but
Yeah.
like we've gotten a lot of flack over the past couple months about like being PlayStation haters, which I know we're not, but
No, I know. I find that comment the funniest to me because I play every game. I will buy games on PlayStation that I could play for free on Game Pass.
right.
Sometimes I'm all entrenched on PlayStation. That's why I'm so upset that they're making nothing but boneheaded moves.
Right. But as far as like somebody there that makes me like I don't like align with anybody's tastes super well there. I'm just more they're just kind of well rounded, and I just enjoy listening to them talk because they're very personable on that show, so it's easy listening. All right, next up is did I read that one?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so Zach is up.
Drew Rosk asks, which video game characters do you think would make great politicians in our current political climate? I'm going to get in here before anybody else says. Andrew Ryan would be president if he ran in 2024.
Oh, you picked my number one.
I mean, it's so. This is the exact climate for that guy to rise to the top.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
I was going to say Duke.
Oh yeah,
I mean, if you've seen Idiocracy, that's
he'll be there soon.
yeah.
I don't really know. I was just going to say Sully from the Uncharted series. Just put him in office.
I mean, I'd love to see him run.
Hmm.
He was talking about our current political climate. That's what I'm saying.
Well, since you stole my Andrew Ryan, I guess I'll have to go with Dutch Vanderlyn.
Another similar example.
Yeah,
True.
with I with Comstock as a VP.
Oh.
Comstock could be good, yeah.
Comstock, like from Bioshock Infinite?
Yeah,
Oh, all right.
or just Doom Guy.
He doesn't even speak. He just stands and holds a gun, points it at the camera.
The fun part about Comstock being VP would be there'd be an immediate conspiracy theory when the president he's running with is assassinated the second month into office, and we all know it was actually Comstock behind it, but we can't prove it.
Yep.
So now this madman is just running the country.
Hmm.
It'd be great.
It always just feels like the VP is the super religious person sometimes. So that's why I was like,
Understood.
How about Ellie?
So just
Yeah.
angry, yell at things, and then shoot it.
Yeah.
She's gonna murder every other nation.
That's
Sounds
why,
cool.
That's why I said Doom Guy.
We're headed that way. Yeah,
I like the idea of just a silent person that never speaks being president of the United
I mean,
States.
come on. These days he says rip and tear.
Well, you know what would be nice about him going to war is that he wouldn't send any soldiers in, right? It would
It'd
just be him.
Yeah.
Leading the charge.
Our soldiers would be safe.
Wasn't
Just
that a line from a System of a Down song? Like, why don't presidents fight the war? Why do they always send the poor? Like, he would just send himself.
Yeah, he would. He would absolutely.
just walks over to the nearest tank, pushes a button, Doom music kicks in, rip and tear.
I like it. You guys, I think we skipped a question, actually. Didn't, the second half of Josh's question was, what is a character that you hated playing as the most?
Oh well, he said that so I thought we
Well, you
had
know,
to answer the original question.
he wins a twofer.
Okay,
He had a good question.
I don't know if I've ever. I'm sure I got to think about it. Sorry.
Yeah, I'd have to
Okay.
think about it.
All right, well, we'll come back to it then, because
I think about a character I hate playing as. Usually, you learn something about them. I didn't like playing as the bad guy of Quantum Break, but then over the course of it, you learn his motivations and stuff, and they become interesting.
that's an interesting point. I'm trying. I can't think of one that I just didn't like. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
my
trying to.
struggle.
I do not like Aloy.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, you only played the first one. You didn't play the second one. I wonder if you would like her better in the second one, because I feel like they changed her character quite a bit. They obviously tried to make her, she knows who she is now. She's more confident. She's grown and matured. I liked her better in the first one, actually, because I thought I liked learning that journey with her.
Yeah, I've heard she has improved, but I don't know. I thought her performance was bad in the first game.
Oh. I'm surprised you didn't say Shadow of the Colossus.
Why? I love Wander.
I don't feel bad about that.
I thought that was the point of that game, is you feel bad about killing these monsters for, like, apparently no reason other than
If it was to resurrect the love of my life, absolutely, I'll kill 16 colossi. Sure.
Oh, I bet that there was like a twist or something. Maybe I'm
No, it is.
misremembering the end.
No, I mean, his motivations were always just to bring back the dead. I mean, he knew he wasn't supposed to be there with that sword,
Mm-hmm.
and yes, it leads to very bad things at the end. But I would say, should he have learned, on the 8th colossi, maybe I shouldn't be doing this? Of course, but if you love somebody enough to want to bring them back to life, I could see you just being like, "Well, I've come this far."
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. What does it matter?
I'm seriously struggling trying to think of, because I feel like no matter who the protagonist is, you find some way to relate to them or cheer for them. You know what I mean? Because even though the character isn't you, it's not like where you're making like a Fallout game where you're making a character based on yourself or something. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Piece of
Oh, what was his name?
Hatham.
yeah,
You say Hatham?
Hatham.
Hatham, yeah.
Hatham Kenway.
Because then by the end of that, I was just, granted later in the game it's different, but I was like,
Great intro to a game.
I felt like I had betrayed everything I stood for in that series at that point in time.
Yep.
So yes, there you go. That is my answer. Like, that is, to me, is a despicable character, and it made me feel dirty.
And how great that they didn't. None of the promos told you you're going to be playing as that guy,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like 4 or 5 hours long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's going on? What?
Yeah. When do we get to play as that Connor guy in the box?
Yeah. That's a good call, man. It's very. I'm gonna try to think on it more and think of another character that I played as that I just did not like, but I just don't. I can't think of one.
I feel like if I don't like the main character, it's hard for me to want to keep playing the game.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like if they're annoying, like whatever Borderlands where you play as Claptrap, that's obviously the worst example. The pre-sequel, is that what it was?
Yeah, it was the pre-sequel.
Yeah.
I need to go back and play that, give that one another shot at some point. I did not like it the first time I played it. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. We'll think on that one more, Josh. Who's up? CB, are you up?
Nifty Plays wants to know, can we all agree that the first month Pokemon Go was released was the closest the world has ever seen to world peace? Yes.
In recent history, probably. Yeah.
No.
Was like,
Okay, first off, you didn't play.
yeah, I did.
Not the first month like some of us did.
Yes, I did. That's actually the only time I played. I actually went to the park and met up with people, and
Okay.
I had a
Were you
buddy
out there
whose
for,
kids
like,
were into it, and they asked me to
10,
take
12
it then.
hours.
Yeah, like I didn't play that much, but I played
Okay.
it.
I remember being out there with my son, AJ, my oldest son, day in, day out, almost every day.
Mhm.
And it was the wildest thing I had ever seen.
Well, people like were meeting strangers and getting along. Like they
Well,
had this common thing of. I thought it was really cool.
Dude, speaking from personal experience, because I was still working as I was a medic at the time. Did you know that we actually did see a dip in violent crime?
Really?
Dude, it's so weird.
Hmm.
Because being at Sinisippi, like, you saw people that you were like, looked sketchy.
You would see people meeting up that you would not expect to have met up under any other
Yeah.
circumstances.
I mean, it was the most bizarre thing. And then, like, we had that little community down at Sinisippi, the people trying to, like, sell waters. And
Yeah.
I was like, this feels wholesome.
And you would
Well, the
think
selling
it would
water
be
is
the-
just less wholesome. Come on, try to make a buck and everybody else trying to have a good time.
You know what? I was happy that they were there because I would rather spend $1 on them than the $3 out of the vending machine that was right next to them.
You guys are crazy.
I
It
had
is.
a thought and I lost it.
I've said this before. I agree. It was the closest we've gotten to world peace. I would go out there looking for a sand shrew and meet a total stranger, hang out with them for a couple hours, and then never see them again.
Yeah.
But it was a great few hours. It was cool.
I played
Oh,
the
man.
game. I never met anyone because I don't go out and talk to people here.
You just wait till they're on a podcast and then you talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game still thrives, though.
I actually have to play it. We had a wager on my other podcast, the Packers Fan Podcast. Wayne and I, guess the results of the game each week, and then we keep track throughout the year, and the loser has to do something that the other one says. And Wayne is a massive Pokemon Go fan. And so he says, he's making me play Pokemon Go for like up to level 10 or something, which apparently is not that long.
No, you can do that in like a few minutes.
Yeah.
Anytime you want to play, man, I still play.
I don't even remember how. I just remember like you find this thing there and you throw a Pokeball at it and then you capture it. That's all I remember.
I'm actually almost level 40.
Wow. All right. You've been playing for a lot. You've been playing that for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've filled multiple Pokédexes.
All right, Alyssa, I think you were up.
Jakaizen? Right.
Either Jakaizen or Jackie-san. I don't know.
Jackie-san.
Jackie-san. What do you do? What do you say when a gamer friend says they haven't tried a must-play game /series? There are so many games or series that need to be tried by gamers, which is in air quotes, like Ocarina of Time, F-Zero, Battlefield 1942, Witcher 3, and the Final Fantasy series.
I say, hey, come do an episode of Break the Seal with me. That's what I do.
Usually I'll just say, like, you haven't played that? And then I just let them be, because I don't like to pressure people into doing stuff. So if they want to play it, they'll play it. If they don't want to play it, that's cool too.
I don't like to pressure people either. Alyssa, when are you going to play Ocarina of Time?
What? I don't have the resources for it.
I think we had this conversation last week.
Yeah.
She doesn't have NSO.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'll have to make room for her in November when that's up again.
Yeah.
I'll play it in November then.
I cram it down Scott's throat until he like starts screaming.
That's true. What games did you make me play last year? The
Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair, yeah. I had no desire to play that game. I was like, you're gonna play it, and you're gonna like it.
Yeah, and you made me play Link to the Past.
You played it for like 2 hours. I beat Dragon's Lair
by the grace of Switch.
No, it was on Xbox.
Also, by the grace of modern console. Let's go play it on an arcade machine.
No, I will not be doing that. Man, what a quarter muncher that game was.
Oh, you're telling me.
Anyway, Zach, what do you do?
Nothing really. Yeah, I'm kind of like Alyssa, where I'll be like, yeah, oh, you haven't played, Max Payne? Oh yeah, I love those games, man, they're great. But I pretty much never go like, yeah, you should play them. I don't think that ever works with anybody.
No, especially not with someone like me who will just be like, okay, I'm not playing it now because you told me to.
Right, yeah. I feel like you're just going to activate the stubborn streak in people. I might be surprised when Alyssa said she didn't play Ocarina of Time, be like, what? Like, just because, you're on a gaming podcast.
If you ask me nicely, I will do it. But when people are like, you have to play this, I'm like,
Alyssa, will you please play Ocarina of Time?
Of course. I would have already played it if I would have had access to it.
He sounded almost sad when he asked.
We should send her an N64 and just make her play that like the original way.
It's fine.
It actually is probably better to play it that way than on the Switch.
Yeah, it's probably true. Yeah.
The control scheme that they came up with for the Switch is not ideal. Could you imagine like playing that for the first time and trying to do like the Ocarina notes with the stick instead of the yellow buttons? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like weird. How would you even know what to do? Because before you press the buttons that were on your controller and you don't have them anymore.
That's true. It's a good point.
Yeah, I'm with Zach and Alyssa. Like, I don't like to pressure people, but at the same time, I really want them to play it, especially if it's a game I know they're going to like. So I'll be like, hey, if you ever want to play it, let me know what you think, because I would love to hear your thoughts.
Right.
That's kind of like my go-to is, if you play it, let me know, because I genuinely do want to know what they think of it.
I do. I hate those people that are like, I have it. I'll let you borrow it, man. I'll bring it in tomorrow. It's like, no, what? No. Yeah. Like people get hyper aggressive about it sometimes.
Or they just buy you a copy of it and send it to you in the mail.
Yeah, can you
Oh,
believe how
yeah.
annoying that would be? That would be
Those
That would
annoying
be
people. Oh my
that
gosh.
would be super annoying.
I would probably be sick to my stomach if somebody did that to me.
I know, right? I mean, I would hate whoever did that to you.
Yeah, understandable.
How many games have I sent you, and how many of them have you played?
I haven't played Diablo 4. I think I played the rest.
You didn't play Far Cry 5.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, that felt like a halfway gag gift to me, almost.
I genuinely do think you would love the finale of that game, but that's a long road to see the finale. But
yeah.
what was the other one? Didn't I send you Live Alive?
You did,
played that?
yeah, but I did play it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't beat it. Actually, I think I played the Wild West section and kind of felt it petered off. But
so the rest of this game isn't a Western? Screw
I
that.
don't bother. But I'll get back to it.
Thank you. I like how you said it better, Alyssa. Jakaizen. What do you do, CB?
I was gonna say, legitimately though, Scott knows this. If there's something I want somebody to play, I just invite them over.
He does.
It's like, you want to come over and play games? I like to play games. Let's play games.
I don't want anybody coming over here.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like, no, don't enter my space.
But see, that's why I invite you to my space. It's a place where Tom is.
Took me a second. All right, next question comes from...
Oh, he's one of my top 8 friends. Okay, I get it now.
Yep.
Oh, just watching it go around the horn is like, oh, we got the joke.
Fira74 says, has there ever been a time in your life you were afraid to play video games? For example, I have just suffered a bad divorce, kids involved, work full-time, but it's everything for me to just keep the house. Even lost my car, so I have to get rides. I have to commute, so I have time to play. I also see downtime at work, so there is time there as well. Got Switch, Steam Deck, and Game Pass. So much I would love to get into, but being an older gamer, I feel playing video games gives off a sense of irresponsibility, at least to some. So while I have the time, I feel like being seen playing video games at a time like this in my life comes off unaware of the gravity of my situation. So I'm afraid to take advantage of the time. Anything like that ever happened to you folks? CB, it looks like he wants to start.
First off, Fierce, I want to say this from the bottom of my heart. Anybody who likes to crap on you for what you think is an irresponsible thing to do, if it makes you happy and gives you pleasure or comfort, you can tell them to piss off.
Or less aggressively. I mean, these people are no doubt watching television and movies and stuff. You know, it's just another avenue of escape. You know,
Yeah, I mean, I don't like people that like to crap on other people's things that make them happy. So, I would use a stronger sentence enhancer. But this is a family-friendly podcast, so, well, other than the question that CJ gave us earlier.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there have been times where yes, I have felt pressured not to play games due to life constraints. However, it is something that I find solace in. So screw the haters.
Well said. Anybody else?
Word.
I mean, I don't let other people impact my enjoyment of anything I do, like playing games, watching anime, TV, reading manga, whatever. I do get some, people that are like, they don't get it. But for me, that's a way to just kind of escape or relieve stress or whatever, because I do have multiple health issues going on, especially right now that I won't go into. But it's never okay for people to make you feel like you should be ashamed of enjoying what you enjoy if it's not hurting you or anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say when you can squeeze some game time in, play some games. Don't worry about what other people think. What matters is your happiness. You need to put yourself first. Take care of yourself. Don't let what other people say bother you. I know it's hard, especially if it's someone you're close with. It can hurt. It can really hurt. But at the end of the day, you need to do what's best for you. So if playing games gives you some joy, play some games. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. Don't let other people make you feel that way. Because you deserve to take care of yourself. You deserve to have some happiness. And it sounds like you're going through a tough time. And if this will bring you some comfort, please do so.
And I'll just say this before I let Zach answer, but Ferris, if you ever need someone to reach out and talk to, man, hit me up. I'm more than happy to listen to you, man.
I am always here as well.
Yeah, you can hit me up on Discord too, and I think I'm the only divorced person in the room, so I might be able to weigh in. Mine wasn't super bad, and there were definitely no kids involved, but I did go through it. It takes so long.
Yeah,
that's the mystifying part of it. Fierce, I echo what these guys say. Play some video games. It doesn't matter. It's not irresponsible. That's nonsense. That's just society getting in your head, and that's not cool. I will advise, whatever you do decide to play, don't go back to an old favorite. Try to make it something new that might stick with you, because as somebody who used to play Arkham City to relax, I played a lot of it during the divorce process, and now I can't really play it without it coming back to mind.
That is good advice.
Yeah, thanks, Alyssa.
You sullied the experience of one of your favorite games.
Exactly, and I think that's very easy to do. So that's just my advice: is try to lose yourself in new experiences, and it's exciting when it's something new too, because you can kind of, if you get super into it, like Final Fantasy 16, or it's just like a new world they get lost in, could be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
16 actually might not be a great example because it's more of an action game, but there are games to play where you can kind of lose yourself in those worlds, and that might help. That'll give you something to look forward to a little bit every day, even if you just play it for 30 minutes or an hour.
Yeah,
good call.
I will say before we leave this subject, if there is anyone out there that needs somebody to talk to, I'm sure any one of us would be glad to listen.
Absolutely,
myself included. If you do feel like you're having any troubles with that, reach out. Trust me, everybody's going through something at some point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Big sis Alyssa is always here. Even if I'm younger than you, still your big sis.
Well, it says Ferris 74, so I assume he's
born in 74.
Born in 74.
I'm still
or is he
big
74
sis
years
Alyssa,
old?
Because it rhymes better than little sis Alyssa.
All right, Ferris. What I'll say to you is, I completely understand what you mean, and I am preaching to the choir when I say this, but I have started to get the impression that the perception that people like you and I are getting of looking at video games as being something that's irresponsible is us being worried about what those people are thinking more than what they are actually thinking. I tend to worry too much what people think about me. I talked about it when I was on vacation. I struggled sitting there playing my Switch because I could feel people watching me. They weren't watching me. They were looking for their next drink, or they were looking for the pool. You know what I mean? They're just they don't care. So don't worry about what people think, and even if they do think it, then who cares? I don't know your situation fully, but I have to imagine you might be worried about certain friends and family members that are privy to the situation, and whatever happened between you and your ex-wife might look down on it. But you have to look at it like Zack and CB and Alyssa were saying, is that is your time and that is your escape time. If it's something that you enjoy to do, don't feel bad about doing it. And CB can attest to this. This is me preaching to the choir, because I struggle even now, and I don't have that stuff going on in my life. But as a school teacher, I struggle taking days to just sit and play games like I want to. So I force myself to do the thing to get stuff done first, and then reward myself with video games. And I got a close friend that lives outside the country that constantly tells me, you need to take time for yourself, because rest and relaxation is part of health, is part of your mental health. So you need to make time for that and prioritize that, just like you do the other things as well. CB wants to yell at me now.
Dude, you know how much I hate that when you're like, it's a reward to myself. Here's the thing: if it's something that you like doing, it shouldn't be a reward.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you're chasing something. You do you, boo. Like, just live your life the way you want to live it.
I will try. All right, we got real deep and philosophical and serious there for a minute.
Much love.
Zack, can you bring us back?
Sure. Tim Thane writes in, what's your favorite TV show theme song?
I've got two.
I do as well. I can't choose between my two, so.
I I got like 3.
Yeah.
Well, I
But
got
it's-
my 2. One is
Oh.
really old, and one is more more modern show.
I really want to see who's older, because you're going to be really surprised at the one that comes out of left field for me.
You think yours is going to be older than mine?
Maybe
Okay.
Green Acres.
Wow, that's one of your favorite theme songs,
Dude, I love that stupid song. It is a fun jingle. Shut up and leave me alone.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. All right. Zach, do you have a favorite TV theme show song?
I feel like I have several as well. For one thing, it's hard to top Mission Impossible. What an incredible theme song.
Yeah. And that
But-
did
yeah.
start from a TV show,
right.
kids. That was a TV show well before Tom Cruise got his hands on that series.
Absolutely. But I also, I mean, it's, who doesn't love the X-Files theme song, right?
Oh,
It's a good one.
yes.
Or I also really love the Psych theme song or Justified's theme song.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, so Zach hit my number 2. Justified.
Justified.
That is a great theme song.
It's very good, yeah.
Okay.
My number 1 is House.
Oh, that's a good one.
It is, yeah.
Mine. You think yours is out of left field? Wait till you hear mine, dude. Alyssa, what's your favorite TV theme show song?
Well, I have 2, and I can't choose between them because they're both kind of iconic and just stay in my brain. But the first one up is Firefly. I love that theme song.
That's a good one.
Oh,
And the
that's
second
good.
one is the Outlander theme song, but it kind of is just the first. It's the same song throughout all the seasons, but they have different people sing it. I prefer the first season the best. The first season singer best, but I still love the theme song no matter what. So those are my 2 favorites.
Okay.
I really thought it was going to be an anime, but I guess that's a different category.
There are a ton of anime ones I love. That would take too
Yeah.
long.
Well, if we're counting anime, I'll just
Right.
say the second arc of Death Note when they started introducing Maximum the Hormone as the intro and outro. It's like one of my now favorite metal bands from Japan. Freaking love that band.
The intro and outro to Neon Genesis.
Oh, here we
That's-
go. Now we're just doing it, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're there.
All right,
the,
let me
best
go.
the best anime intro is Cowboy Bebop.
It is. Oh, Tank is so good.
It's very good.
As
So
it
good.
immediately starts playing in my head.
Yeah. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
All right, so my modern one is Westworld. I love the theme song from
Yeah,
Westworld,
it's a good one.
especially because they incorporated that theme song into the show in a very interesting way. So that one, but my old one, CB, you're gonna laugh when you hear my old one. I love the theme song from Airwolf. Do you remember the show Airwolf in
Oh,
the
yeah.
80s? That theme song was one of, oh man, Knight Rider was a cool theme song for that matter.
Just that 80s synth mastery.
Oh man, but go back and like just pull up YouTube and listen to the Airwolf theme song and tell me that doesn't bring back some memories of that show. Was
I'm more down with the Knight Rider one. Airwolf was okay. Knight Rider better.
Knight Rider was admittedly probably a little cooler, but I have a special place in my heart for Airwolf. Wasn't Ernest Borgnine in this show?
Yeah.
Yeah. That thing was so cool when I was a kid. And the game was terrible.
Oh, actually, you know what? Come to think of it, Star Trek Next Gen.
Oh, that's a really good one too.
Yeah, that's always gonna hold a spot near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
Oh, I also really love Twin Peaks theme song.
That's a
Very good.
awkward one.
What?
Obviously, Game of Thrones is a great theme song.
Yes.
Yes, Game of Thrones. Yes.
Same composer as the Westworld
Yes.
theme, isn't it?
Ramin Djawadi, I think his name is.
That's so good. We got 2 more. CB.
Mr. David Newman, Dr. David Newman. What are your thoughts on the first half of 2023 as far as games that have released? What's been the most surprising game, not necessarily the best so far in a good way, and the most disappointing?
Who wants to go first?
Well, most disappointing is Starfield's still not here.
That doesn't count, man.
It's true. It's hard to live life without Starfield. I get it.
It is. Dude, that's an itch. Like I'm sitting here, I'm just like fiending right now.
As soon as they in that little direct they did, they said NASA punk. I was like, oh, CB. He's wet his pants.
So for real answers.
Oof.
I think it's been a very good year so far. I'm happy. It seems like a lot of people, are already proclaiming it as one of the best years ever. I don't know if I feel that way myself, but there's been a lot of very good games. I mean, the best surprise, I think, for me would be Hogwarts Legacy being as good as it was, because I assumed it was just going to be kind of okay, but I actually ended up liking it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously biggest disappointment is Star Wars Jedi Survivor, a game I should have loved, but I thought it was okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably go with Star Wars Jedi Survivor as well for most disappointing.
And wow.
Listen to the spoiler cast, you'll understand why.
Still plays phenomenally, but the
Yeah.
story is bunk.
As the most surprising for me, Alien Dark Descent. I did not expect.
You love aliens. Why is it a surprise that you're going to love a game based on
I
aliens?
don't like XCOM.
Yeah.
This is the game that got me into that style of game.
Okay.
That did it. But that's why you said most surprising, but not necessarily the best.
Okay.
Because I had almost written the game off because of the XCOM factor. So
aren't you glad you didn't?
Yeah, I really am.
All right, Alyssa.
I would say probably most disappointing again, Jedi Survivor. I did not hate this game at all. It's just the story was a letdown from the first game. Expected more from the story. Was disappointed, but not a bad game by any means. Biggest surprise for me was forgot the dang name of the game. It was just in my head. It was a game I loved. I think it was the first game I reviewed this year. I've got it listed in my notes. Okay.
Does it involve cats?
Yeah, there are cats in it actually. A Space for the Unbound. Yes, that's it. Space for the Unbound. Right. Don't know why that just slipped out of my mind when I was gonna say it. I went in expecting to like it, but I loved it. Even having to solve an algebra equation as a puzzle because I am terrible at math. But that game was so delightful. It was wonderful.
Nice. For me, I think that my biggest disappointment. It's tough to say this, but Pinball FX. You guys know I love pinball, but their new model and the fact that I have to rebuy all my tables if I want to play with a new client kind of sucks. But if I were going to give a real one, I was really looking forward to The Forest Cathedral, which is a game that we interviewed the developer on, and I just thought it was such a clever concept. And then when I actually sat down to play the game, I thought it was just okay. And I felt like it was doing something that it wasn't, that the trailers and stuff didn't sell me, didn't tell me that they were going to do. And I wish they would have just said that instead of made it a surprise by the end of it. So as far as best surprise of the year, boy, I feel like I've played a lot of games that I haven't finished yet. So like really good ones that I haven't finished yet. But for games that I've actually finished, I played that game Nescape. It was like an 8-bit game. It was an escape room. I did not expect that to work as well as it did, and it totally worked. I really dug. Did you ever play that one, CB?
Nope.
You should go back and do that. That's an easy 1,000. You should be all over that.
Okay.
So. All right, we got time for one more question, and I think it's Alyssa.
I'll take it from Twitter. Positivity counts at positive. Why can I not say positivity? At positivity count one.
Maybe that speaks to your mental world.
Yeah.
I need more positivity. If you could live in any city in the U.S., what would it be? And would you move there if everything magically worked out?
Any city in the U.S. I mean, the easy answer is, Honolulu or something like that.
Yuck.
Sounds awful to me.
Dude, that was one of the best vacations I ever took. That was some good food.
I'd rather get hit in the face with a tire iron.
You guys laugh. I liked living in Dallas. That was one of the best times of my life when I lived in Dallas.
Yeah. Would you move there if it could work out?
No, I really
You're
I
entrenched.
like Rockford, man.
You can't leave Rockford behind,
Nope,
can you?
Rockford's gone.
Good for you. I'm focusing on Scott right now. You just can't leave it behind.
Fine, I'll say Portland, just because
Yeah.
Mike and Zack are both there.
Is that why you don't want to leave Rockford, because of the people there?
No, I genuinely like this town, man.
Scott
I'm
doesn't
asking.
like change.
That's
And it is starting to change. Like the downtown is like so much better than it was 5-6 years ago.
Well, I mean, that wasn't a high bar.
Let's say it's not hard when you're number one murder rate per capita in the country to then improve.
There's a lot of crap going on in Portland too right now, man. I'm just saying.
Hey, we were never on the top of the FBI's murder list.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're trying. You're trying.
No,
You are
dude,
trying.
No.
It's one specific area of Portland that's bad.
It is I haven't encountered a single issue. It's
Neither
all
have
just
I.
Weird news.
Neither
stuff.
have I
See, there you go.
encountered a
It's all
single
bad
issue.
news stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Alyssa? Where would you move to?
I honestly don't know. I haven't done a lot of traveling in my life, but I've never really been in a city that I've just fallen in love with. Right now, it's kind of hard for me to think about moving away just because I have had some traumatic events happen the past couple of years and kind of is making me want to stick to my family for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't love the town I live in. But I haven't been anywhere where I'm like, I want to live here. So it's hard.
All right.
What's the name of the town? I guess if you're comfortable saying, what's the name of the town you live in?
I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna stalk me. Coleman.
Coleman. Okay.
It's kind of notorious in the state. Yeah.
And what's your social security number?
I'm not saying that.
Another maiden name. I'm sorry. Did I miss it? Which city did you say you would want to live in?
I don't know.
You don't want. Oh, okay.
She wants to stay home with family.
At the
Yeah.
moment.
Wow.
I feel like no matter what city you're in, you know, like how in the movies, whenever someone's like, I'm never gonna get out of this stupid town, they could be like in L.A. and they'd be like, I gotta get out of this town. This place sucks. Like everybody just thinks that wherever they are sucks. I just feel like no matter, and I feel like even if you go to like your dream city, like remember when we were kids and Florida was the coolest place? Oh, I can't wait to go to Florida. Like everyone went to vacation in Florida. Gotta go to Florida. Disneyland's there. Florida's awesome. I feel like everybody hates Florida now.
At no point in my life did Florida ever top that
No,
list.
never.
No.
I mean, when I was a kid, I dreamed to live in Alaska. I thought it'd be super cool.
Well, it is cool up there.
Yeah, 30 days a night and all that stuff. That'd be super
Oh, yeah.
awesome to live there.
Have the
Yeah,
vampires
Florida
come?
to me is always a place that
Yeah,
I
they
wouldn't
need
mind
to.
visiting, but not living.
Where, Alaska?
No, Florida.
I went to Florida once and I wanted to blow my brains out. So
Well, that's because you like air conditioning at 43 degrees.
it's pretty
There
awesome.
there ain't nothing
Hey,
wrong with
I
that.
love an air conditioned place too. I am
Yeah,
cranky when I'm hot.
Florida itself is just bad. It's bad news. You know what? I guess I've been there twice and it sucked both times.
Okay, no one picked
Sorry,
up on the
everyone back.
setup I made for myself. That's good.
I don't know what did she say? What?
Nah.
Okay, I'll catch it later. Whatever. I'll listen later.
I said I get cranky when I'm hot.
Oh, Frankie 24/7.
CB, did you have an answer? I don't know if we heard it.
For me, like I've always been torn between two places in my life, and it's either Boston or Winter Park, Colorado.
Okay. Interesting.
Boston, because I just love the vibe out there. I've loved that city ever since the first time I went out there. And Winter Park
It's
is
wicked awesome.
Yeah. Forgot my khakis.
They got good bars over there.
The oysters. But I've always loved the like I love Boston. Like for the longest time in my life, like if I could move there, that's where it'd be.
Okay.
The older I get though, it's leaning severely towards somewhere like Winter Park, Colorado, or Durango, Colorado,
Okay.
where it's not a big town. I love Winter Park. It's like less than 8,000 people. It's up in the mountains, and it's beautiful, and it's quiet. The older I get, the more I just want quiet.
Dude, I feel you.
I will say my town is pretty quiet. We've got, I think, around 15,000 people here. Pretty small.
Oh, okay, hang on. Let me sell you on this, Alyssa. It's quiet, it's small, and it's cold.
There you go. Alyssa's in. Well, thank you, everybody that
Well, I'll
wrote
answer
in.
real quick. I did it. Just wanted to throw it. I didn't answer the question.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I wasn't keeping track of that. That was
No, I don't.
Scott's usually the one that keeps us.
Well,
on
he
the
is the
rails.
host, but we're
This
I'm
is
just a
Scott
gaming
Clark, the
outsider.
Gaming Outsider.
Yeah, so I don't matter.
What was your
I was-
answer?
I was just gonna say I did it. Move Portland, and it magically worked
Oh.
out. It's awesome. I'll tell you. So I don't know, if I brush my shoulders off and feel cool or what, but I nailed it. I would like to, get my own land at some point, but it's working out so far.
There you go, man. I do like Portland. I visit out there often. My buddy Mike lives out there, and you live out there. But now I got 2 reasons to go out to Portland. Have you been to Fried Egg I'm in Love yet?
I've seen it. I have not gone in there. It
You
looks
need
like
to go in there.
It's so busy.
Best breakfast sandwich you will ever have.
Oh,
And I don't like
okay.
weird stuff on my sandwiches. Like, I never thought I'd like pesto on a breakfast sandwich, and I love pesto on a breakfast sandwich now. So,
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Anytime I've asked like a Portlander where to eat, the food has almost been genuinely terrible. So I try to avoid things people recommend.
yeah.
Everybody's got white people seasoning taste buds out here,
Oh,
but I'll try to take your. I'll try fried egg for you and I'll report back.
I found it really good. So
I trust you more than I trust these people.
well, you say that, and now I'm worried that I'm like going to steer you wrong because I'm very
as
white
you
bread
find out
slice of heaven.
Yeah, I forgot. Scott likes chicken fingers.
Yeah, but people here will be like, "Oh, it's the best chicken fingers you'll ever have," and I eat them, and they just
Oh.
taste like came out of the microwave. Like it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
no flavor.
Scott, you should go next time you're in Wisconsin and you're in Milwaukee. Go to the Blues Egg.
Blues Egg. All right.
Yeah.
Also, I can't believe you've been in Portland this long and you still haven't been to Next Level. That is a crime against humanity. You need to see that place. You need to experience Next Level.
I'm just jealous because he's so much closer to so many good retro game stores.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I'm
of
jealous that
stuff
he's
out
close
there.
to Kinokuniya.
By the way, I got 5 left on my list, Zach. So if you're ever like seeing any of those shops and
I
Pop
guess
in
send
and-
me your list.
huh?
I said, I guess send me your list.
I will. I will definitely send you the list. It's getting harder and harder to find them. I can't even find them on eBay now. It's kind of crazy. I'll tell you a story about that later, CB. Anyway, now can I go, Zach? Is that okay? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
well, I'm
skipped
sorry.
you.
It's, screw you.
I'm sorry.
You're a bad host and you're a mean friend.
Oh my goodness! Thanks to
Doesn't he put
everybody
chips out?
who wrote in those questions. We do appreciate it. I genuinely look forward to the community questions episode every week because it's just a lot of fun seeing what everybody comes up with. So that's going to do it for this episode of The Gaming Outsider. Thank you so much for listening. This episode was produced by Kevin Honigford, and all the music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemmage and Metroid Metal. Please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. Alyssa, do you have any parting words or recommendations before we get out of here?
Not really.
Okay. CB, how about you?
Yeah. It's been such a busy week. I haven't had time to like really watch or absorb anything new.
All right. Zach, how about you?
Catch me over on the Hollywood Outsiders spoiler cast for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which I guess I was the only one cool enough to go see. Well, if you want my high-level thoughts, I think it's a really good movie with a really great ending.
Nice.
And I think the best part of it, if you're sick of every legacy sequel, having nothing but nostalgia bait, or almost every summer blockbuster being like, an Easter egg fest,
Mhm.
this movie does none of that.
Nice.
There's like maybe 2 or 3 callbacks to the old movies, and it's just a sequel. It's friggin' awesome.
That's good, man.
Really
I'm glad to
respect
hear
it for that.
I
I
tried
know-
to see it on Friday. I tried to take somebody to the theater for their birthday to see,
I
Jones.
understand that, but unfortunately, like the children, man. Think of the children.
Could have brought them.
What was sad though is maybe 8-10 people in the theater.
Really?
Yeah,
How old were they?
most of them were. I didn't see anybody younger than 30.
Yeah.
I don't
I
think.
kind of figured as much. I got a rehashed one. I think this is something that Zack mentioned on a previous thing. What do we call this? I don't even know what we call this. Parting words, recommendations. I decided to go back and watch Jury Duty again.
So good.
I watched the entire season in literally one sitting. I could not stop watching it. And granted, it's only 8 episodes, but my God, is that show hilarious. So funny. And they got so lucky with that guy that they got as the mark on that show. Ronald is a delightful person, like a genuinely delightful person, and it's just so great to watch. Have you watched this yet?
He'll briefly restore your faith in humanity.
Yes. And he's like, in LA, and everybody around him is just a total jerk or dork or whatever, and he's just like loves everybody. Have you watched this yet, Alyssa or CB?
I have not.
Are you familiar with what it is?
Yes.
No, I'm not.
It is. Maybe have we talked about it on this show, Zach?
I think last week you did.
I thought I talked about the bear last week, but
or maybe it's the week before last.
I think I talked about it last week.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you talking about it is what got me to go back and start it again. It is a courtroom reality show, but only everybody in the courtroom is an actor except for one guy who thinks he's there for a legitimate jury. So everybody is acting, and it is borderline office level of ridiculousness that goes on, and he never realizes that it's all fake. And there is a certain celebrity that is also on the jury that is playing himself and being a total a-hole, like trying to flaunt his celebrity to get out of jury duty. And it is so funny. Like, I was laughing so hard, I was worried I was going to wake up my wife who was sleeping next to me. It's really good. So,
oh, Scott, I actually do have one because of you.
Because of me?
Yeah, the new
What?
Fallout Boy.
Oh, the new Fall Out Boy. We didn't start the fire.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's been in my head.
dude,
They-
it's so good.
They actually
What is wrong with you people? That sucks. It sucks.
I
Like,
didn't say
it legitimately
it was good. It's just stuck in my head.
made me mad. There's no chronological order to what's happening. There's no sense to what time span it's covering. It's not there for any purpose. It's one of the worst covers I've ever heard in my entire life.
Wow.
What
like
is
it.
wrong with you people?
Was it in
We're all-
chronological order in the original?
Yes.
Yeah, I had to do a school report about every
I
single event that was mentioned in that song.
And it was all the important things that happened during the Cold War. What is Fall Out Boy's version covering? What are the events it's covering? No, it's
Stupidity.
nothing. It's just randomly listing things.
I like it.
Oh God, I hate it. Oh, ooh.
It's just stuck in my head because I hear it on TikTok every other video.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm
Does
definitely in a different TikTok algorithm than
Does
you.
TikTok like it?
Yes, TikTok likes it. At least the
God
TikTok
damn
I'm
it.
on.
That's where I discovered it, actually, was TikTok.
There's no saving humanity. We're all gone. It's too far gone.
Well, if it's not
welcome,
that,
welcome
it's
to
the
yelling at clouds,
submarine.
Zach. Welcome to yelling at clouds.
God damn.
Well, now that we've sufficiently upset Zach, let's go ahead and get out of here. Until next week, I'm Scott Clark with Zach Parkerson, Alyssa White, and Chris Behrensmeyer, and we are The Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.